Cuffs are off, man. Get right. Too many left in these leagues, but I ain't gonna...
Hey everybody, Adam Rank here.
What's up everybody? It's Marcus Grant from NFL Network.
This is AJ Dillon of the Green Bay Packers.
I got to give a shout out to y'all at Get Right Fantasy.
If you are not subscribed, what are you waiting for? You want to lose your league?
Check out the Get Right Fantasy Network.
You got to get right with the Get Right Fantasy Network.
Best of luck with your podcast. Appreciate the support.
And you're tuned in to watch my boys at Get Right Fantasy Network. Get you right. Enjoy the show.
Marking often, but I tune in every Friday. Strategies provided, I will lock in every way. So go and roll your sleeves up. Yeah, go and roll your sleeves up. And I'm getting down, cause I roll my sleeves up. And I'm getting right, cause I roll my sleeves.
What up? What up? What up, world? We are back. I'm Anthony, aka Rasta. This is Get Right Fantasy Network. I hope everyone had a happy Thanksgiving to everyone out there. So we're here on a Friday episode here, a little early from our normal time.
Very early.
We're gonna very early here. But we'll recap the
Just
games
like
from
Black
yesterday.
Friday deals. This is like a really good Black Friday deal. You get us really early.
There it is. So those of you guys who maybe have to watch it later on, maybe you could come in now and check it out. Throw some stuff in the chat, man. We're here for you early. This is what happens when you get a little day off or leave work early here. So what's up, Wilson? How's it going, man? We got Roberto in the house as well too, man. We'll get to those chats, so make sure you guys drop them in there. Tonight's our game by game start sit preview, so we'll help you start or find out who you're starting, who you're sitting for the upcoming games. But like half the league's already played, including my Niners. Let's go. We're getting into that in a second too. But I can't believe I went this long to say what's up to my boy Classic Mike. What up, Classic? Happy Thanksgiving, my guy. How you doing?
Good, man. Happy Thanksgiving to you. Had a really good Thanksgiving with the family in general. So glad to be able to get out. I played some golf today with my brother and cousin.
Ooh.
So got to enjoy the day. I got a nice week off. So for me, it's a nice, relaxing week of just enjoying life. So
For sure.
Other than that, yeah, man, just enjoyed some football, some turkey, and enjoyed a good time. So
there we go.
Yeah.
And both of our birthdays are coming up, so happy early birthday to you.
Yeah,
happy birthday to me.
To you.
Thank you. So we're getting older here. Got the gray hairs coming in and everything here. So they're not as exciting as they used to be. I wouldn't mind prolonging them a little bit here as we get up in age and wisdom. But it's another rotation around the sun, man. So I can't complain.
Yes,
but yeah, man. So we'll definitely get into it here, and I wouldn't want to be doing anything else besides talking some football here with you, my guy. Happy to be here on a Friday with you too. It feels like I haven't really been here too often. Got a lot of stuff going on. But yeah, man, it literally feels like I haven't talked about football with you in a while, as regular as I have. So been talking to Frank a lot. So.
Yeah.
Got to switch it up here with you a little bit here.
Oh yeah.
So for those of you guys who are new to the channel, just so you guys know, we are on 4 nights a week. We're here Mondays doing our Overreaction and Waiver Wire show. Wednesdays we do our roster management, buy, sell, trade targets. With the trade deadlines and things coming up, we'll probably just focus either on ad drops, and we'll probably start giving updates on our listener leagues, our Tournament of Champions updates, kind of see where those guys are at. And hey, it's okay. Classic might be in last in one of them, but that's okay. I'm in last. I'm in last in one of them too, so I'll hold that shame with you. So you won't be by yourself on that one.
Nah.
Again, Fridays here we're doing the game by game start sits, and then of course Classic has this Sunday morning show that he does on Sunday mornings, the active inactives, and getting your last minute start sit advice right before kickoff. Of course, we're always taking your live chats, live Q&A, so drop them in there. So there we go. And for those of you guys who are watching later, I already saw that comment. It's coming up on the screen. We have our timestamps in our chapters, the chapters that I'll throw down in there. So if you just want to catch a specific game or just listen to certain parts of the show, you can navigate that by getting in the description there. And of course, if you're watching, man, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you're already subscribed, hit that like button for us, man. We might have to do one of those things where we're not going to take questions until we get like 10 likes or something, at least, just to start it off, because that helps us out, man, with the algorithms and things like that. So those of you guys who are subscribed, please do that. And speaking of subscribers, we are a little bit past, our 1,000 subscribers. We have the video out there. Make sure you guys go watch the must-watch video for our 1,000 subscriber giveaway. We were going to do it on Wednesday, but everything was kind of going on with Thanksgiving. So we're actually going to give away the ring next Wednesday, and Mike will probably throw that up here on the screen quickly. And then if we have one of the ambassadors in the chat, why don't you guys go grab that link to that video so that folks can, go ahead and make sure you watch that, leave the comment, and we will get to that drawing on next Wednesday, I believe, which is going to be the 29th. So there you go. Classic got it there. So if you see that link, make sure you go check it out. And what else we got? Oh, yeah. And the ring itself is brought to us from our boys over at TrophySmack.com. So there you go. Fully customizable. Not only rings, they have belts, trophies, your chains, different things that you can do over there on TrophySmack.com. Make sure you guys go check them out. The link is in the description. When you check out, use that promo code GETRIGHT at checkout, and that will help support the channel. So take your league to the next level with something over at TrophySmack.com. So let's get into the chat here real quick. We do have some folks in here. We got LeBron in the house. What's up, LeBron? How's it going?
Oh, wow.
There we go. So we got him live. He's always busy in that sleeper in our sleeper channel. So always posting his questions. So
halfway around
George,
the world too.
Exactly, our boy from Australia over there. So there you go. He's saying happy Thanksgiving over there. So yeah, if you have questions, make sure you drop them in the chat. Like our boy Roberto Perez here saying, "What up? Are we starting Josh Downs or Javonte Williams this week?" So first question right out of the gate, Josh Downs or Javonte Williams? Just to set it up, you have Josh Downs going up against the Buccaneers at home. And then you have Javonte Williams going up against the Cleveland Browns and a tough defense there. So where are you going with that one? I'm leaning Josh Downs.
I'm leaning Josh Downs just because of the matchup, though. I think on a normal week, I would have probably have told you, like, anyone but Cleveland. I probably would have told you Javonte. Like, he's the clear pick and better, more talented. Josh Downs is just in a better matchup. You can't can't do any better than that. Got to just roll with that for now.
Yeah, the only thing I don't like about Javonte right now, though, is, he's still only playing about half the snaps, 49%, played 52% against Buffalo the week before. But the thing that you don't really like to see is he only had 2 catches on 2 targets for 16 yards last week.
Yeah.
And Samaje Perine went 7 for 7, I believe, for 40-something yards on that. So unless they're throwing to him on first and second down, Perine pretty much has that third down roll on lock. And, we saw Wilson taking that dump down option. Again, at least last week against Minnesota. You expect some pressure there, of course, from Myles Garrett. So there could be, some potential drop-off passes there. I believe we're expecting some weather in this game as well, too. So again, those are just some things to keep in mind. But I'd rather take that. Oh, okay. So yeah, I would just, I just assume everywhere's starting to be bad weather over there now.
No, just the Philadelphia game, Cincinnati game, and the Tennessee game. There's a cold front running through this weekend that's going to be hitting tonight, tomorrow, and Sunday. So
we need to have like a weather update section. Like we need to start doing that and list the games with weather just real quick out of the game. Like we need to add that on there. So that'd be cool.
Everybody that's listening, if you ever need to know what's going on with weather, one of the best places to look is the FF Weather Guys on Twitter.
Yes.
Probably one of the best, if not the only place that I go to find weather updates about anything. They have up-to-the-minute tools. And
I was going to say, don't they have the live webcams as well, too, where you can actually see?
I don't know.
There was another site that I found that has actual live webcams in cities close to where the stadiums are.
I don't know if this is it, but this one gives you like a breakdown of what games to monitor, what games you should, be aware of. There's a lot of dome games this week: Houston, Atlanta,
yes,
Indy, Arizona, Las Vegas, LA, and Minnesota. So the outdoor games, there's only 2 that are really good, or 2 that are good right now, and that's Denver and the Giants going against the Pats. The other games that are outside, Tennessee, Cincinnati, and Philly, are all these bad weather games. It's going to be a lot of rain, a lot of wind right now, and it's going to be a little cold. Well, not as much wind, but it's going to be cold. It's going to be damp and crappy. So just got to be aware of those.
For sure. So we appreciate the question, Roberto. So hopefully that helps you. I'll take the temperature controlled dome with Josh Downs and Gardner Minshew coming off the bye.
Yeah, I'll do that.
So I'll take some of that. The only thing you got to worry about is his knee, of course. So just keep an eye on that, but again, he is coming off the bye. Just the sad thing is yeah, I was going to say, you just have to worry about it kind of flaring up, and then not finishing the game. Those are the worst, like he did right before the bye. So hopefully he's nice and healed up at this point, and he'd be the one I take my chances with. So getting back to the Devi Royales, telling Mike to get some sun in here. It's going to be a while with us rolling into the winter time now.
Some sun today.
There you go, out there playing golf. So he's working on it, Royale. He's working on it, man. He's working on it.
This is we got question.
Yeah, we got LeBron asking a cup of Ridley. He said he's definitely starting Puka. So LeBron's in the same house as me with the Puka and Cup combination. He and I have been rolling it all year. It's been pretty much working for us for the most part. I think last week was a little rough, of course, with Cup going out, but you can't predict injuries. So, hey, when injuries happen, at least you had the other one in there. And it wasn't like you started one or the other and then one gets hurt and one kind of goes off since the other one's not there. With both these guys healthy, LeBron, I'm personally rolling them both out. Now, if I did have Ridley, and Classic and I were just kind of talking about this before we came on screen, with Zay Jones, that's what you're really going to look on. He is listed as questionable right now. With him in the lineup, Ridley seems to play a lot better. T-Law seems to play a lot better. Just regardless of whether Zay Jones himself has a good game or not, he seems to take some coverage off of Ridley and puts Ridley in a more comfortable type route.
Makes him to move him around.
To where
they can move him around,
and kind of allows him to do it
a little bit.
Right. And he's not just kind of purely running those deeper threats with Christian Kirk running underneath. So I mean, it is a tough question. I think if Cup's healthy, I think you got to roll with Cup in this situation if you're deciding between the two. But if you want to diversify and roll with Puka Ridley, I don't think it's too bad of an option. And what are you thinking, Classic?
See, I'm in that boat too for the most part. I mean, I don't have Puka, but I do have Cup, and I'm sitting in the boat of trying to figure out if I want to play him or not. He is coming off the low ankle sprain. It's a lower risk of re-aggravating the injury, so I'm not too concerned. I mean, he was looking to come back into the game that day, and they kind of held him back. He did not practice and then limited yesterday and full today. So at least he's had no setbacks. He's had the ability to ramp it up, and everything's been fine. He wouldn't play unless he was absolutely sure he wasn't going to be able to play. And to be honest, I think he'll do just fine. This is a good matchup for him against Arizona. It's kind of hard to tell you not to play him. So I'm going to go with playing him over Ridley, even though Ridley is a really good matchup this week in general, just because of the fact that, like we said, Zay Jones tends to, whenever he's in the lineup, it seems that Ridley's doing well. So I'm going to stick with Cup, though.
There you go.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to kind of see where the Cardinals were at. They're the 12th. They give up the 12th most points to the wide receivers, fairly in the middle. I
have them at 19
in this matchup. I think we use two different sites, so just depending on how they. I did put the link to my site in our show notes.
I'm not using
just yours. So you can. No, I know. I'm just saying so you can kind of see where it's at. So at least you can see where I'm coming from. But yeah. So, and again, that's based on half PPR as well too.
Yeah, mine's
at least on my side. Yeah, we try to stay half PPR with you guys just so it's kind of somewhere in the middle. Yeah. All right. So appreciate that, LeBron. I don't know if we answered you all the way, but yeah.
He says, well, no, we both said Cup is fine. So I think Cup is the answer if you're looking for, one or the other. He also says, maybe I'll see if I can move Cup because I got Saquon, DJ Moore, Kincaid, and Allen all on a bye next week. That might not be a horrible move, but you better be getting the world for Cooper Kupp. Like that's you shouldn't give him up for anything less than what? Joe Mix,
So-
Gibbs. No, like I don't know.
I mean,
Jacobs?
you want another wide receiver.
Eckler?
That's why it's tough. Yeah. I mean, I don't think he demands that much now. The potential's there. He's flashed it kind of only really once. I think it was his first week
Yeah.
back, but so it's kind of tough right now. But that's you definitely want some top person. That's why it's almost like you kind of just better off kind of keeping him. But I could see why you'd want to move him. But either way,
Yeah.
all right. So let's move on here. Who's the next one we got? Go ahead, Classic.
Tingley. He
What's up,
goes,
Tingley?
hey yo.
Hey
What up,
yo.
man? How you doing, man? So he goes, hope y'all had a great Thanksgiving. I hope you guys did too.
We
He
did.
says start T-Law or Fields. Also, PPR. Pick 2, start Puka, Tank Dell, Devontae Smith. That's gonna be a fun one. And then
Nice.
flex the wide receiver not picked or Pacheco.
Ooh, he has like a 7-part question here. I like it.
I like
Very
these.
laid out
So
well, though.
He's yes, and thank you for putting it out the way that you did. The only question I would have is if it's full or half, but I think I'm going to answer it regardless with what we got. And he's also starting ETN and Kamara, so I'm assuming that this is a little bit more PPR related. So off of that, who are you starting, Law or Fields?
For me, I'm probably gonna go. It kind of just depends on what you need. If you're looking for
Yeah.
just like kind of a more like game, or if you really need some, boom, then you can go Justin Fields, of course, Monday night. Plus, you get that satisfaction of not having your quarterback play till Monday night, kind of, let your opponents sweat it out, so to speak. So there's a little bit of, mental warfare going on there as well,
Yeah,
too. But I believe the Vikings right now, they're right in the middle as far as points allowed to QBs. Again, at least here on my charting. Who knows what it says over there for you? And then you got T-Law going up against the Houston Texans. Their defense, has been a lot better so far this year. And they're literally just a few spots back. So you're just kind of really right in the middle. If Trevor wasn't coming off this great game, which I don't think he's going to have 2 rushing touchdowns, again, those, hopefully should go to ETN, although, Houston has a great rushing defense this year compared to last year. I mean, I'd probably just, go ahead and go with that divisional game with Fields and just go for that upside. It's a tough call. I'm sure you're probably leaning maybe the other way because I know you like more the pocket passing type QBs versus these rushing guys. But yeah, if it's 6 point per passing touchdown, again, that we've seen that connection with DJ Moore last week. And then, of course, that rushing upside. So I'd take my chances with Fields in that situation.
So for my list, I have the Houston Texans giving up the 31st amount to QBs. And I can see why, just because they tend to give up a lot and tend to catch up a lot with the offense. So there's been, they're in a very, this is the highest scoring game on the docket. I think this is 48 points. 47 and a half. And I think this is the highest of the week. So it's one of those things where it's punch, counter punch, punch, counter punch. And they tend to just keep on going back and forth. So they're willing to take the hit to then go and try to score. So in this case, I don't mind T-Law in this particular scenario. He has most of his weapons, if not all, because, Zay Jones recovering, even though he's questionable, he'll be out there. Fields, I understand everyone's liking of him. He does have the rushing floor. I'm all for it. Minnesota has been a lot better against quarterbacks as of late. So I have no problem loading up T-Law, ride the wave that he's been currently on. I mean, he's been on a tear lately. So I'm going to stay with T-Law for this particular one.
Yeah. I don't think neither one of them it's like necessarily a bad matchup per se.
No.
And you may be talking maybe 2 or 3 points difference, by the end of it. So I don't think you can necessarily go wrong. I don't think any of them is going to just stink it up. So
yeah. Oh, he does say PPR. All right. So this is full PPR. Pick 2. And we're either starting Puka, Dell, or Devontae Smith.
I have it in that same order. I'm going Puka and Dell.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Puka and Dell there. I think Dell is the constant for me. I think the only two that I'd be playing with is Puka and Smith. But in the matchup that they have, I rather have Dell. I rather have Puka. So I think I'm gonna go Puka and Dell here.
Mm-hmm.
And then flex a wide receiver, not pick. So in this case, it's Devontae Smith or Pacheco. I think I'm gonna go Pacheco.
I think I want to lean Pacheco too, especially if I'm, going with the picks that I'd already picked as far as
Going
setting
against
this
the
lineup.
Raiders and Max Crosby out, it's Pacheco.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. There's no question there anymore.
There we go. So thanks, Stingley. You got any more questions? Drop them in the chat. We'll get to it.
So we got Nino Pina. What's going on, man? He goes, "What's up, guys? Got a waiver question. Somebody had dropped Drake London today. Should I drop him or drop Rice for him?" My answer is no.
Yeah, I was like, no.
I'm not dropping Rice. I like Rice a lot more than London, and I've never been a fan of London.
Maybe if Heineke was still starting.
Maybe. Yeah. I just don't. I don't trust anything. I don't trust anything on the offensive side of the ball for the Falcons.
I'm not putting my fantasy playoffs hopes or championship in the hands of a Falcon not named Bijan, and even then, it's still a little questionable.
Yeah, and even then, like the only ones I actually like on that team are like Jonnu Smith. Like I'm not playing him unless I have someone. I always have someone better than him on my lineup. So
right,
that's where the fun is there. So
there we go.
We got Dol Qatar in the house. What's going on, man? He goes, thoughts on this trade. And we got our trade master here today, which is fantastic. So we got Chris Godwin, a fourth for Tank Dell.
Take Tank Dell 100 times out of 100 in this trade.
I'm going to take Tank Dell as well.
Being Dynasty, of course.
Yeah,
he's locked in with CJ Stroud. We don't know who's going to be necessarily quarterbacking next year, and obviously the connection with him and Baker hasn't been great. Well, and that's what I'm saying is even if it is Baker, it's not like they're lighting the world on fire. He was actually a lot better with Evans. I thought Godwin would have the year that Evans was kind of having, so to speak. But yeah, so sadly, I think Godwin's a great talent. But yeah, Godwin in a fourth for Tank Dell. You're talking, Chris Godwin's 27, Tank Dell's 22, if that, 23.
If that. You got
so yeah. It's attached to CJ Stroud, who's like a phenom right now. I'll take that, up and coming offense and a guy you can literally start. I'd be starting Tank Dell over Godwin right now today. So
yeah, me too.
And you're only giving a fourth for that. That's a great trade.
Yeah,
A+ in my opinion.
Great. All right, we already answered the Brom. So let's go to Freshwater. What's going on, man? He goes, who should I start at the flex? I have Christian Kirk, Josh Downs, or Olave. That's a
I love Kirk.
I know. I like Kirk too.
I gotta go Olave, I think, in this one. But it's tough.
Coming back.
Yeah, with Carr back, and even if he gets knocked out and it's Jameis, it might even be even better for him.
Yeah.
So I'm not really worried about Carr either. I'm not worried about that situation either way. I think he'll eat either way. But yeah, Kirk, I just have him downgraded just a bit. I'm kind of sitting him in quite a few places this week where I've been starting him in several places because I do have a lot of Kirk ownership. But with Zay Jones coming back in that lineup, even though he had a decent game last week, when Zay's in the lineup, it does, hurt Kirk a little bit there.
Yeah.
Just those targets do go to Ridley a little more in those kind of intermediate areas with Jones running deep. So
I think it moves him more to the slot, and it makes it a little bit more easier for him to be, closer to the ball. You can't do that when he's not there, because then who do you have? Tim Jones, who's nobody, or Tom Jones, or whoever the hell he is. So that's where the issue is for me. I'm in the same boat though. I feel like Kirk would be the real answer for this, but it's really Olave. You can't. It's one of those cute questions that you can't. You got to start your stud, and Olave's the stud out of this group. So
yeah, absolutely. All right, so good luck there. Who else we got?
So Nino Pina, he goes, also don't know if I asked this earlier in the week when Kupp was questionable. Need one flex between Bijan, Warren, or Kupp. I think, this one's a tough one too. And it's all because of freaking Arthur Smith that they make this one a tougher one. You know what I mean?
Normally
Like,
it'd be no
normally
question.
it would just be no question. It would just be,
Well, no
Bijan
question, it
Robinson.
would be Cup if it was half or full PPR for the most part.
Yeah.
For ceiling, if you needed more of a floor play, you could say Bijan. I like Warren. He had the big run. You take away that
but
74 yarder, it's tough. But Bijan going up against New Orleans, potential split backfield. Let's see if he gets 20 carries again. And then you got the Steelers going up against the Bengals with no Joe Burrow, so we're not sure how that could potentially stay there. I almost want to say Warren for whatever reason, but I can't put Warren ahead of Cup or Bijan. So in this case, I'd have to probably just go Cup against Arizona in this case, and you take your chances with that. If you want a little more solid, floor, then go with one of the running backs, whichever one of you're choosing. But if you want some potential upside, if it is like a full PPR, especially a full PPR, then I'd have to roll with Cup.
Yeah, if it's full PPR, definitely Cup. If you need a better floor, I would definitely go Bijan. But Saints defense is pretty solid as a whole. So you got to go with Cup in this. I think Warren is kind of out of the equation. He didn't see as many he actually saw less opportunity. Well, not less, but he hasn't seen he hasn't gotten the 60-40 split that people think he should have. He actually had his normal, they called him, they named him the starter a couple weeks ago, and he hasn't really been playing starter role. It's been Najee. Najee's been out there a little bit more. Warren has been getting opportunities in the passing game, but that's the only thing that's making him relevant. That game is going to be something special at 35 points. And I mean that incredibly.
But it'll probably be a blowout, though.
No, maybe. I mean, a lot of these
not a
games,
blowout, but like a blow up. Like it might be like a bonanza type game.
Maybe. I mean, but the Cardinals versus Rams are, that one's at 45. So for me, it's one of those scenarios where do you want a piece of the 45-point line or do you want the 35-point line? That's a huge swing. So I feel a little bit more, where I want to be with Cup in this particular scenario. So
Agreed.
I'm going to go Cup.
And, I'm rolling Cup out in my lineups that I have him. So I'll be right there with you, my guys.
Yeah, too.
If he does bad, don't feel bad.
Me too.
Don't get mad because I'm going to be just as mad with you. So don't worry. We're all Cup fans over here, man.
Yes, sir.
So there we go. All right. So who we got next?
So we
got our boy Adrian in the house.
Yeah, Adrian Peterson. What's going on, man? Oh my God, I love that title. So it took me a minute. I was looking at it. I'm like, oh my God, this is great. So which Justin should I start? Herbert or Fields?
Ooh, that's a good question.
That's a good one.
Herbert going up against Baltimore, which is tough because I've been riding Herbie all year long.
Me too.
If I had Fields in this week in this situation, I think I might roll out Fields this week just for one time because this Baltimore defense is they're good, man. And the Chargers are kind of depleted on weapons right now, which is why I love my Herbert to Allen stack. But I like it in a little more favorable matchup. I have to roll it out because it's my stack. But if I did have another option like Fields, I'd take my chances with Fields against Minnesota.
Actually, this is the highest scoring game. This is 48. I mean,
I was going to say there's a couple 48-point games, but yeah.
Either way, this is. Oh, I didn't even realize the Bills and Eagles were 85. My bad. But either way, this is. Yeah, I'm rolling with Fields. He just has a safer floor for either one of these guys. So, and believe me, it's hard for me to tell you that. So
yeah, that's tough. But yeah, I think I'll roll Fields in this one too, man.
So
but if you do go with Herbert, I'll be rolling with you with with Herbert. So
I had Herbert in Scotty Fish, but I'm not in Scotty Fish anymore. Neither of us are. We both missed out. I'm very upset.
Our boy Tycoon made it though. He made it with
Tycoon
points.
Nice.
Yeah.
Lucky.
Even though I had a better record than him, but he made it with points.
Right? I was so mad. I didn't make it. Even though I was really close.
I was in 7th place and I missed it by like 70 points.
Yeah.
And what's crazy is I forgot to start Kelsey on the week where he had that low ankle sprain. He had like his 2 touchdown game, that huge game. It was like 63 points that I missed out on. So I still would have missed it by 7, but that would have been a little more hurtful. So at least this time I just missed it by 70. But shout out to the Snickers division, man. Hopefully someone over there.
Shout out to my Sabaro division. I got a few guys in there as well. So I'm excited for that group. So we got Dole Qatar back with a question. He goes, trade Stephon Diggs, Amari Cooper, a 3rd and a 4th. For Olave, Higgins, and a 1st.
Ooh, What type of first is this? Because if there's an early first, then I lean that way.
Yeah.
But I still think you have a couple years. Watson will be back next year. Diggs will be fine, even if he gets out of Buffalo.
2 more years.
Yeah, he should still be pretty elite as long as he goes somewhere with a quarterback, maybe Kansas City. That's not going to happen.
Please.
It'll probably be Mike Evans in Kansas City next year. That's what I'm hoping for.
Please.
But yeah, so I think I'd lean Olave, Higgins, and a first. It gets you younger.
If you're
you
looking,
still have Higgins. Like I don't expect Higgins to do anything for the rest of this year. Obviously, the first isn't going to happen. If you're in a rebuild, take the Olave Higgins side. If you still have a chance this year, yeah, that's what I mean. Like he's going to be on a new team. Maybe he goes to Kansas City next year, as a free agent. So he doesn't have to be traded there. But yeah, so if you're contending, you still have a chance this year. Then maybe stick it out with Diggs and Cooper.
Yeah.
But if you're kind of turning that page, looking more for a rebuild, or you have some other options you can throw in there still with Higgins.
Mid-first.
Oh, 4 through 6. Yeah, I still think I'd go that route because that mid-first is still going to be currency. You could still flip it later, especially in the offseason or right before draft time. You can get a lot for it. People start to go crazy right before that rookie draft after not having any football for a while.
Yeah.
Right now they're like mid-first is nothing. And then, once you get there, they're going to be like, oh, I'll take it. I'll give you my next 2 firsts for that first. It gets crazy. But yeah, so there you go.
Yeah. If you're definitely looking
which side are you leaning on this?
Yeah. I mean, if you're looking to get younger and you're not competing, I definitely think that it's worth going for. If you're definitely contending, I probably would not do this just because there's no point. You would be losing out on, 2 guys that
so many points this year.
Yeah, and to be honest, Diggs and Amari to me are elite, but unfortunately Cooper lost out with Deshaun going out on IR, and now and they're not even trying PJ Walker, which he did better with Walker. But it is what it is, but I can survive with Diggs.
My boy Njoku has been going crazy with DTR though.
I know. That's what I do. Like I can't even drop Njoku, and I picked him up just to have as a backup to Laporta, and just for a bye week. And I was like, wait, I can't let him go.
Oh, you're stuck running with the 2 tight ends now? Ooh,
well, no, tough. I don't want him to be on someone else's
or just
team.
Well, that's what I mean.
It's
like
defense.
You're stuck using a roster spot on it. Yeah.
I have to do it
tough.
with my quarterbacks too because I lost Burrow. So I'm holding Burrow, I'm holding Goff and Howell. So it's like
that's different though. Yeah, you got to do that.
I have to
play the matchups.
I gotta make. Well, it's either play the matchups or make sure that I have 2 guys that are at the top 10 of quarterbacks. And right now, he is the guy. Like Howell is.
Hey, Sam Howell is the NFL passing leader right now, right?
Yeah. So I mean, it can't go wrong there. So we got Dustin Poole with a question. He goes, "Hello guys, I need 1 wide receiver, 1 running back, and 1 flex spot. It's a full PPR league. He has Adams, Smith, Josh Downs, Eckler, Jacobs, and Keaton Mitchell."
All right, so let's go with the wide receiver first: Adams, Smith, or Downs.
I think
rolling Adams against Kansas City.
Adams, yeah,
I can't get away from that.
It's so hard to pick that too because I personally would have probably because Aiden O'Connell changes the whole freaking atmosphere for it. I have to go Adams, and I don't like it, but I'm gonna have to go Adams.
Mm-hmm. All right, so you're 1 running back: Eckler, Jacobs, or Keaton Mitchell.
We're definitely going Eckler.
There we go.
Yeah, you have to go. Well,
simple and short with that. It is Baltimore, but right? He's a passing back too. He's like McCaffrey. They're matchup proof. Mm-hmm. He just can't fumble as he's going to go in for a touchdown. That's like an 8-point swing.
See the harder part. I think the harder part of this question is the flex because
now do you double up with Jacobs and Adams on a terrible offense, so to speak, against a really good Kansas City defense? Do you go with kind of more a long shot with Josh Downs coming off injury bye week with Gardner Minshew? No. You're not putting Keaton Mitchell in there at this point.
Why?
Or do you go Devonta Smith? I can't trust a guy that's getting like 4 or 5 touches. I mean, come on. He's an okay stash, but he's not. We're not debating.
No, that's
playing
fine.
him ahead of these guys.
There's
no way.
Okay.
No, he didn't do anything last week. When he's not scoring a touchdown, it looks great when he's scoring a 60-yard touchdown, but you take those out and he's not doing anything.
Okay, fair point. Yeah, I think I might have to roll with Jacobs just because of the volume. They've shown what they're gonna do is run the damn ball. I understand it's full PPR.
He's just not getting the
it.
targets. He's not getting the targets in this Josh
But he
McDaniels
makes it
offense.
up.
That's the thing.
But he makes it up in his volume. He's like Derrick Henry in the Raiders offense, if that makes sense.
This new Raiders offense.
Yeah, this new one. Yeah.
Anthony Pierce offense, not this Josh
No,
McDaniels.
it's Antonio Pierce.
Or Antonio Pierce. What did I say? What did I say? Anthony?
Anthony, yeah.
Yeah, I'm biased. I got bias on that. I'm biased on
That's all right. So
my grandfather's name was Antonio, so there we go.
Oh, there you go. So we got Adrian Peterson back. He goes, not a football question, but what was your favorite Thanksgiving dish? For me, it was bacon and cheese filled mashed potatoes.
Some loaded mash over there. I like it. I like it. You got a favorite dish on Thanksgiving Classic? I like these questions. It's like a little break in between.
I like it.
Start sit. So well done, Adrian. Appreciate this.
This is I like Thanksgiving, dinner as a whole. I'm very traditional and I only like just very basic meals. I'm not really a crazy
classic.
I'm very classic, exactly. I'm not eating this bacon, cheese filled mashed potatoes. It's not me. I personally do not like cheese. And I, for most of my things, I do like mac and cheese, which is weird. Don't get me started. But beyond all that, like I'm pretty simple, turkey, mashed potatoes, with some type of green stuffing, just really good gravy. That's all that I need. Easy.
So what's your favorite though? He's saying one favorite dish.
God.
There's one thing you could pick. You're on a diet. You can only have one thing. Maybe not a diet, but you're only on one thing.
One thing that I love is my stepmom's cauliflower. It's just so perfect every time.
So you're scratching the ham, scratch the turkey, scratch the protein.
No, turkey's always
cauliflower.
I can't go with.
What's your favorite? What's your favorite Thanksgiving dish? It could be one of the main staples.
I was gonna say it's no fun whenever everyone loves. Well, most people love turkey. I'm gonna go turkey because it's a meat. I love the meat.
There you go. And it wouldn't even be. This is like perfect. This just tells you how Classic and I are so different because I'm the complete opposite. Yeah. I'm a non-traditional Thanksgiving guy. My birthday, I was born on Thanksgiving, so to me, I can't eat turkey. I can't stand turkey. So to me, it's like cannibalism being born on Thanksgiving. I can't eat turkeys on Thanksgiving. Those are my peoples, my guys, my birds. So for me, I go classic, or I don't go classic, but I go surf and turf for Thanksgiving. So we do surf and turf Thanksgiving. If you guys were in our sleeper channel, we had a Thanksgiving Day post. You guys would have seen the 3-bone prime rib that I put together this Thanksgiving. Had that as well as just your standard ham as well too. I do a ham instead of a turkey. Also did some garlic and butter shrimp with that as my turf part of that. And then we did have what else did we have? And then we went with like a loaded mac and cheese with some panko crispy toppings with the cheese. Nice. Mac and cheese on that. It was like a kind of sharp Alfredo kind of specialty kind of mac and cheese. So that was our whole meal. As far as my favorite though, man, it's going to be the steak or whatever that meat is going to be. That's my favorite thing on Thanksgiving. Something that's not turkey. Usually it's like a New York strip or a fillet. This year we went with the prime rib, which of course has the fillet cut in there, but you get all the extra goodiness with it. So that's mine. And then he follows it up and says, also, was there any non-traditional Thanksgiving dish at your Thanksgiving? So
that's yours.
My entire meal
I
is
never have
non-traditional. So
I've never really had that, non-traditional, it's never really been a staple for me. I always, give me the turkey. That's what I want. So
there you go. All right. That was a great little interlude there. So let's get back to some fantasy football here. We got Chandler in the house. Tutu, Atwell, or Zay Jones in PPR?
I'm going to have to go with Tutu.
I'm going to go Zay with Cup being back.
So it's hard for me to say that.
With Cup being back, second week off this injury, coming back in the lineup, I'll take Zay Jones.
See,
did have a great week last week, but yeah.
My reasoning behind it is because of the fact that Cooper Kupp is hurt. I think what they're going to try to do is run him out and kind of, I wouldn't say decoy him.
Cup? I'm going to decoy Kupp him?
I see that's the problem. I feel like he's going to go out. Like you saw him injure it. He got up, he tried running around, he was ready to go back in. They said, no, hold up. And like Tyreek Hill, like finished out the day today. You know, he sprained his ankle pretty bad during one of the plays. He played throughout. So maybe he'll just do, he'll do fine. Even though I think that Tutu, I mean, these are the third guy in the pecking order for both teams. So I feel like Tutu could have a little bit of a better game. Zay Jones definitely has the more upside. I think Tutu is the definite floor play, though. And I always tend to go for the floor play.
I mean, you're kind of really screwed with both these guys if this is your situation. Yeah. So to me, I'll take my chances with Zay Jones. Because, I mean,
it's fair.
You're talking 4 for 20 is what Zay Jones came back after basically only playing like 2 games this entire season. So, of course, there's that aspect of it. Atwell did start off hot the first kind of 3 games once Cup came back. He's only been double-digit half or actually even full PPR scoring in the last, since week 4. Hasn't really seen more than like 2 catches a game, if that. He had 1 game with 4 catches against Green Bay, but other than that, he's had literally 1 catch in the rest of the games. Granted, they're like 20 or 30 yarders. It's a nice chunk gain when he gets it, so maybe he gets in the end zone on one of those. But with the emergence of Puka and then Cup, back in the lineup, Atwell is just kind of he's like the Jawan Jennings of this offense. So
makes sense.
He's the 3. Yeah. All right, who else we got?
So we got Eric Rojas saying Diggs has left me down 2 weeks in a row. I am wrong. Am I wrong for sitting him and starting Tank Dell? I don't know if I could do that.
Ooh,
I can't do that. I can never do that. That's a bold statement.
Actually, I think Philly's given up the most points to wide receiver position, though, or second most I see right now. Commanders.
So hold on. So Chandler just said that he's in an 18-team PPR. That's why it's
damn. That's a man's league.
That's a man's league. That's
a man's league, Chandler.
That's his second flex option.
I'll go Zay Jones. That's not a bad option in the 18 team. Yeah, that's actually those are pretty good options.
I'll switch my answer to Zay. That makes a lot more sense.
There you go.
A lot more. So Diggs has let him down. Does he not play? I can't do it. I think the only guy in the top 10 or the top 5 that you could possibly sit is Jamar Chase. He's the only guy that I think that you could possibly sit and be compliant. Like, you're going to be fine. That's the only one that I would probably start over Dell. I'd start Dell over Chase, not Diggs.
Yeah, man. Eagles are giving up the most half PPR points per game to wide receiver position, man. You got to go Diggs one more week.
Yeah, just one more.
Got to do it, man. Try to find a way to get Dell in there, man. Like, I can see what you mean, but
definitely
you're gonna kick yourself when Diggs goes back to having how many times do elite receivers not like if this would have been week 4 and then like week 7 where he had 2 games? I think it's because it's back to back. You have a little bit of recency bias in there. But like Steph Diggs is that dude.
Yeah,
he is that dude. Like he's like there's points of the season when you're like this guy's the number 1 wide receiver.
Oh yeah,
there's points like that. So Josh Allen's little injury kind of to the shoulders kind of been.
It has been
not getting those, just like last year, but even last year, like they pulled out of it and he finished strong. So you got to do it. Now, if there was weather going on and they're playing in the snow, then that's when I'd be okay with starting Dell over Diggs, just in case.
Dell is in a dome and the Philly game is a little bit wet.
Yeah. The Jags give up the 11th most points to the wide receiver position. So it's not completely out of the question if you did like a little tinker scheme.
Eagles are 27th. I'm going with that.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, I'd take my chances with Diggs, man. Yeah, I wouldn't get too cute. Not quite yet.
I wouldn't get too cute at all with that. Like, honestly, I tell everybody all the time, you're better off playing your studs in a lot of the situations that you are in because there's no point in playing anybody else. Stephon Diggs within the 15 yards, he has, let me see, 9 targets, 6 receptions within 15 yards for the red zone. That's pretty significant for somebody, Tank Dell just gets those long ass touchdowns, which is very nice, but you can't predict those. Once this team gets into that 5-yard line or within the 20, Stephon Diggs, he has within the 20-yard line.
Scoring threat.
It's 10 for 4. He was 10
But
receptions.
Tank
on
Dell
14
does have
targets.
over double-digit targets in the last 3 games. So
Agreed. No, he's been
he's getting
up.
targets too, but yeah.
Yeah. But
And
I'm
Noah
just
Brown.
going, don't stress about Diggs. Like all I'm trying to say is don't stress about
Yeah.
Diggs. He gets plenty of look and he is their red zone threat. He's the guy you should be always having in. Dell is fantastic. He's been getting a lot more volume. The problem is that he's been relying on
Who else do you got?
touchdowns.
Who else do you got in
that's my next
between Dell?
question.
Yeah, like who else do you got in between Dell and Diggs? There has to be one other guy that you're starting ahead of him, unless it's a one wide receiver league.
Here it is, and he just gave it to us. So what about having Tank Dell or Puka in his lineup?
See, that's where I would go Dell over Puka.
I would
now,
go
I
Dell
pretty
over.
much in the most part have Puka ahead, but like Dell, you're going to get that potential touchdown upside. So if it's like if it's like half or standard, then I'd probably go Dell, because the chances of Puka scoring a touchdown, Matt Stafford just doesn't throw touchdowns anymore. Like maybe one. I don't think he's had a game this year where he scored 2. Full PPR, especially with cutback, he's not going to dominate like he did before. So I kind of would have Dell ahead of Puka.
I would go Dell over Puka. That is what
I might have to actually switch my rankings on that, because I don't have a rank that way, but they're close.
Yeah, Puka is
but
just.
Yeah, I think I am. I'm going to put Dell over Puka. Over Puka.
Yeah. Nice.
Think Dell, Puka. Yeah, I got Dell over Puka.
Okay. So we got
good stuff. Good question. That was a good question.
Yeah, that was a good question. Dole Guitar. He goes, Dynasty traded Lamar and Kyron Williams for Jalen Hurts. Thoughts?
A+.
Yeah, I'm good with it. And especially if you're good at
you got a younger Lamar, basically. You got a younger Lamar behind the best offensive line.
As long as you're good at running back, I think that's a really good trade.
Kyron he picked up probably off the waiver even in Dynasty in 25
Agreed, but you never know.
Spots. Yeah.
No, he was a rookie. He had to be a rookie pick, like a rookie.
I don't think he even went drafted in our rookie draft. Kyron Williams, I think he was picked up even our Dynasty league, and we got like 20 bench spots.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Anyway,
this is a good question. Actually, this is Mahomes or Stroud this week.
Are we in the same situation here with? Isn't this the same thing with Diggs and
yeah, you got
and Dell? You got to play Mahomes, man. You got Mahomes. I know it's tough. I like
Stroud though,
but like this should be a get right game for Mahomes, man, against the Raiders.
Yeah.
In Vegas in a dome.
They're favored by 9.
Kelsey usually goes for like 3 touchdowns against the Raiders, man. Like you got to do it.
It's in a dome. They're both dome games. Yeah, I like Mahomes, and Mahomes hasn't been Mahomes lately. So I understand the reason for this question.
But I have them like back to back. I got like maybe one person in between them, but they're like back to back, and they're both like in that 5, 6, 7 range, somewhere in there.
Yeah, it's 5, 6. Yeah, that's exactly where I have it. So, and Albert in the house. What's going on, Albert?
What up, Albert?
Glad to have you here, my friend.
Always supporting the channel. Appreciate you.
Oh, we got another question that popped in right before we start our breakdown. We got George Play going, should I trade Olave and Dell for Diggs? My other receivers are Kupp, Waddle, Deontay, and JSN. I don't think so.
I think I'd keep Olave and Dell.
I would keep Olave and Dell for now, but see, that's
because of the depth.
I think what he's trying to do is contend.
Yeah, let me see what this playoff schedule looks like really quick here. I know Allen isn't that great, or Allen, the Buffaloes.
Buffalo has the toughest schedule out of everybody.
Oh yeah, so they get at Jacksonville, at San Francisco, at Miami. It's not terrible.
Yeah, I think Buffalo and the Bengals have the 2 toughest schedules moving.
Oh, wait, no, I was off one. My bad. Hold on. Let me get Buffalo. Dallas, Chargers, New England. At Chargers.
Whoa, hold on a second. Yeah, I knew it. He's contending. He's trying to get it. Yeah, I knew it. I absolutely knew it. George goes, I'm 9-2, or should I trade Dell for Jefferson? If you can trade Dell for Justin Jefferson and can wait 2 weeks, do it. Do it. I'm doing it.
I traded Puka for Jefferson. I've been waiting like 6 weeks.
I would do it
And I'm
though.
in the
If you-
same situation, sitting in the top spot, waiting for him to come back.
I-
I'm just not sure without. I did that before Kirk Cousins went down for the year too, though.
Well, you know that. Okay, so
Stroud and Dell is
we're
hot
gonna
right
we're
now.
gonna kind of go a little bit ahead because of the concept that the Minnesota game is like one of the last games we talk about. But right now, Jefferson is doubt. Like, just consider him doubtful. He might be listed as questionable. He's doubtful. He's probably not going to play. They want him healthy. They have been playing well. They are what? I think they're.
I've already heard
7-2.
them say they're not activating.
Yeah, they're. I already heard that they're not either. So they're 6-5. They're second in their division. They're almost in that wild card spot. They could be for a playoff push near the end. They rather sit him this week and play him after the bye week. So you got to wait 2 weeks for him. So if you want to sit and wait 2 weeks for Jefferson, go for it because it's Dynasty. You're gonna have, you have time. Well, I'm assuming this is Dynasty, but I could be wrong.
No, I don't think it's Dynasty.
No,
There's no
so
picks
then-
involved. This is
Yeah,
redraft.
fair point. So even if it's
I mean, it
redraft,
could be, but yeah.
but then you get Jefferson for the playoffs. Because then who do you want, Dell or Jefferson for the playoffs? And then you have Jefferson, Cup, Waddle, Deontay, and JSN. So essentially,
Houston's
you have
get the Texans twice. Houston gets the Titans twice in the playoffs, 15 and 17. Pass
Ooh.
funnel offense
interesting
or pass funnel defense there.
defense. Yeah,
Oh man,
yeah. This is a tough question.
that's a really, and then they get Cleveland in between. Though that's the tough part.
I know. I like
man, that
the
is
Jefferson
really tough.
trade.
I love Olave because he's playing in a
No, I
dome
think-
all the way up until week 17 against Tampa Bay, and then it's just Tampa Bay that he's playing at, so you don't have to worry about crazy win. That's the only thing I worry about with Diggs and Allen or anyone in Buffalo is that Buffalo weather can get absolutely insane anytime between now and your playoffs.
It don't matter.
And those games, it's almost kind of like you almost can't play them there. Like I know sometimes they have good games, but like it's almost impossible when that win happens. Like we all remember the win game between them and in New England. That was just crazy. They couldn't throw the ball like 15 yards down the
ran
field.
it 40 times or more.
It was
I
insane.
think it was like 50, 60.
Yeah, and I think
absurd.
Mac Jones only attempted even 3 on his side. I
He
mean, at
didn't
least
even
Josh
make
Allen
any.
has a stronger arm. So I don't know, man. That's why I kind of stayed away from Diggs this year, and I stayed away from Allen, just because of knowing what that weather is going to be late in the game and seeing that they weren't playing in domes.
No, agreed.
And so I think I'd stay with Dell and Olave, in my opinion. And maybe if you want to go Dell for Jefferson, but my whole thing is you've made it 9-2 this far without him, so you should be okay. It's not like those guys are declining, so gotta keep that in mind as well.
That makes sense. I mean, if this was Dynasty, I think I would make the trade in a heartbeat. But you're kind of persuading me a little bit to go the other way. It makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, Diggs is that guy, though. I mean, we were just talking about how he's that guy, but we're talking rest of the season, not just 1 week. Like
Jefferson is definitely the better one if you can get it.
Yeah, and I'd rather have those options. Yeah, and I'd rather have those options because Deontay is basically nothing. So Waddle can be hit or miss. Like when A-Chain comes back, Waddle can take a dip. I knew he was going to have a good this game. And there's that part too. There is that, but I'm just saying, like, those are all the things there's a lot of question marks there. Like, you know what you're getting from Olave. Like, even if Carr goes down, you got Jameis, which, like we talked about, is a better option. CJ Stroud is that dude right now. Like, the matchups are decent. Like, I don't know. I think I'd stick with the 2. And you have the depth in case something were to go wrong. I like having that depth.
Fair point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not against it. So we got Eric Rojas going pick 1. Joe Mixon, Jonathan Taylor, or Josh Jacobs. Jesus Christ. How do you have all 3? This is a tough one for me.
Got Mixon against Pittsburgh, Josh Jacobs against Kansas City, and Indy against Jags, right? Jags?
Yeah, I think so. It's all interdivision for most of it. I'm looking right now. Yeah, Buccaneers. So, it's 8-man PPR. That's why. I was going to say, how the hell do you get all 3 of those guys?
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I might go with JT here. And the reason being is, and we haven't gotten to this game yet, but Levante David is going to be out. Jamal Dean is out. Devin White listed as questionable. He's limited all week, or he had one practice that was limited. I think it was Friday. So I'm leaning JT. All the Colts are healthy. Go for it, JT.
I think I'll go JT as well.
Yeah.
Again, Jacobs tough defense, Mixon going up against a tough defense, but should get a good amount of volume with Browning there. They're going to try to establish the run, but I don't think either of those teams have any problem with that game being 13-10. So JT needs back to a full workload in a dome.
Oh yeah,
going up against a high volume offense. So yeah.
So George play goes. I don't like Olave with Carr. Last game, Olave got 0 targets when Carr was on the field. With Winston, he had 8 and a touchdown. Don't like that type of volatility. I don't
go
disagree.
back and look at the rest of the game charts, though. Come on now, Olave hasn't been bad,
and it was a half.
Game.
I've seen Stephon Diggs go a full half without getting a target, and then all of a sudden have 10 at the end of the game.
Yeah, this dude's had basically 9+ targets every game except for 2 against Tampa Bay and New England earlier in the year.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's been 9 or more. And the last game was like that.
And Michael Thomas
he got 15 targets from Carr against
Also,
Jackson.
remember, Michael Thomas is out on IR.
Yes, that's the thing too.
I think I'm okay with it, and I understand Rashid.
Shaheed, A.T. Perry.
But he's a deep.
Shahid's a field stretcher.
Yeah,
Olave should be working all that underneath.
Yeah,
they should be a lot of screens.
It's gonna be a lot of Juwan Johnson and Taysom Hill. I
don't even think that's gonna happen. Should be all Olave.
It's gonna be
he should get 10 targets.
Yeah. Either way, I'm okay with it. I think Olave is gonna be fine moving forward. So Leo the Prodigy goes start Derrick Henry or Austin Eckler. These are annoying me because they're so high on the list. I like the middle guys. This one, I have to lean Derrick Henry
against the Saints, giving up the
comparatively to Eckler against Baltimore. And no, it's
least
the Panthers.
Points.
Panthers. Titans versus the Panthers.
Titans are against. Oh, how did it go back to week 1 for me? My bad.
I have no idea, but it's Henry versus the Panthers. Panthers suck against the run. I'm going to go Henry, and it's in
that case.
And it's going to be crap weather in Tennessee. It's going to be just rainy and nasty. Run the damn ball. And Austin Eckler going against the Baltimore defense. He'll be okay with passing volume because they will try to keep him involved with little quick dump offs. But I think Henry is the clear, right?
Yeah, half or non. I'm probably going to go Henry, but full PPR.
Full PPR. No. I agree. Full PPR is definitely Eckler, but anything
he's like the second best passing option in that offense. So
agreed. No, completely agreed. But yeah,
I might even do in half. I might even go Eckler. That's my boy, man. It'd be hard for me to sit Eckler for Henry.
I play Henry.
Either way.
I have Henry. I'm playing him this week. I don't care.
Panthers defense is pretty. Panthers defense is pretty bad.
Pretty bad against the run. They are on my sheet.
Yeah, second most for me.
They are the second most. Yeah,
behind the Broncos, which is still kind of inflated based on that Miami game. So really,
matter.
The Panthers are number 1.
Yeah. So I'm rolling Henry out in 9 to 10 leagues. Yeah, like 9 out of 10 leagues.
Yeah, I think you got to go Henry there. And just understand if Eckler outscores him, it's Eckler. So you can't really be mad.
Well, that too. It's one of those things where if you look at the spectrum, the Panthers have the better matchup. The Ravens are technically on my list, they're 13th overall. So it's one of those things where it's like, okay, they're middling against running backs, but they have one of the best defenses in the league. The over-under for this game is the line is 3.5. The over-under is 48. So, there will be points in that game. There won't be as many points in the Panthers game. So that's where the fun is with this. But I prefer the Panthers going to be out or without most of their players. They're going to be out. Jeremy Chin again, Gross Matos, and two of their best corners in the game. So, yeah, and I think Brian Burns is playing hurt. I think you just got to go with the Titans game and expect Henry to be the guy to get, most of the points in that game. That's how I
There you
feel.
go.
But
There
and
it
it's
is. All right.
just a bad matchup either way. It's gonna be a rough game. So Dynasty, Dol Guitar goes Dynasty, rocking with Hurts, Montgomery, JT, Amon Ra, Puka, Kittle. 3 flex are Olave, Higgins, and Dell. Also have 3 first projected, 1.1 and mid and late. What moves would you make? None. The answer is none. I would not do a damn thing. You are pretty good the way you are right now. Like, what am I? Are you flexing today, Dol Guitar? This is a monster lineup. I am not going to do a damn thing.
You'll welcome Marvin Harrison Jr. with open arms.
I was just going to say, like, hey, like, come on, Jesus.
Yeah,
I wish
I mean,
he was stacked like that.
Yeah, you got a ton of young receivers. They're good, high producing in good
Oh
situations.
my God. Higgins
Yeah, I
is,
mean,
and the
maybe
funny
you
thing
move
is,
one of those late first for maybe you could move a late first for another piece, something that's just more like maybe you take that mid and late first and turn that into like Bijan. If that's the only thing I can like if you really want to go out and live on the edge, like maybe turn that mid and late
I wouldn't turn it into
first into
Bijan. I'd go
Bijan
for Gibbs and have
or
both.
Gibbs.
That's just me. Or
yeah, I mean, you already got Montgomery, but I'm just
who cares? Because Monty and him are going to be freaking lightning and thunder for the next freaking 5 years. Or I'm exaggerating, but they're at least the next 3 years. They're going to be just thunder and lightning to one another. I mean, if you can go grab a guy, if you could grab a guy like Breece Hall, I would go do that with like one of your late firsts or a second or something like that. Keep your mid and first.
Breece is still going to be worth at least a late, if not a mid.
That's what I just said. Use the late one and go from there. And
I'd rather give up 2 and go get Bijan and hope they fire Arthur Smith, and then the next guy unlocks him. Like that's the chance I'd be willing to take.
If you're willing to take that chance, go for it. If you want a more safe route, it's definitely Breece Hall. Like I would go for Breece Hall. Though he came back strong. They use him. He's clearly the best back there. And next year, considering if they have everything rolling on all cylinders, they could be a decent team. I tell people all the time, their defense keeps them in games. They only lost this game, for
Would you trade that? Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, would you trade that mid and late first for AJ Brown, Mr. Arthur Juan?
Ooh, I might.
I think I would do
if you could.
To pair with Hurts, get that stat going.
Ooh.
And he's fairly young. Give some seniority to your wide receiver group there, and just some all-out balling outness.
Because you already have. No. Well, because you have Amon Ra. You at least have something there. Puka could fall off.
That's the only thing I see he's missing is that like true alpha wide receiver, young alpha wide receiver. I would take those 2 first and try to turn that into Arthur Juan.
Him or CeeDee Lamb. Yeah, I would go for Lamb. I'd go for CeeDee Lamb. He's young. He's 2 years younger in a good system. And I hate CeeDee Lamb like over AJ Brown. I like Brown way more. It's just my own personal take on that. But it's just a thing.
Or maybe you could just
and they're both in my freaking division, so I hate both.
Right. I was going to say there is a little salt at that one.
Well, a little bit, but AJ Brown is clearly the dude. Like
I would go get AJ Brown. He says CD, but I would say you run a shoot for one of those guys. I wouldn't be scared to use the 2 later.
No, I wouldn't either. I'd be
because then you'd be rolling out Arthur Juan, Amon Ra, Marvin Harrison Jr. and Puka and Olave Diggs and Dell, another young stud guy. I mean, yeah. And again, I'm assuming this is 1 QB since he's not listing a super here. So,
or you're going with
great question.
Or you can go with the running back. Go for a younger running back, like we said before, with Bijan or Gibbs. Or you can go with who's another. Like I said, Breece Hall is another guy you could target, or who else is another
really
guy?
It.
Yeah, I think I'm trying to find a guy that would be worth it, and that's the only.
All the rest of them are all older, or we don't know what their situation is going to be. But yeah, I'd wait on that.
Breece is there; he'll be there. So
yeah, all right, good stuff. That was a good one. That was a good one.
But Jesus, We had so many people, and I loved it. So thank you guys. Continue to throw your questions in the chat as we go. Oh, did it? Oh no, never mind. I thought I saw something.
Okay.
I thought I saw one. So let's move right along. Do you want to even go into what happened on these games? Because
We could just quickly recap them, but before we do, man, I got to give a big shout out to our boys, man, over at UnderdogFantasy.com, man.
Ooh, good idea.
Let's do it. So we got our boys over at Underdog Fantasy. For those of you guys who don't know, Underdog Fantasy, they're kind of started off as a best ball platform where you can go in, draft your teams instead of just doing mocks. These are actual leagues that you can join and play out for the season. Best ball means no waivers, no trading, no drafting. Just set your lineup, set it and forget it. So you guys want to do those during the off season, so you can come get your practice in here with us with our Friday night mocks, and then go use what you learn in the Underdog. Make sure you use that promo code GetRight when you do. In addition to the best ball drafts, they also have one of my favorite things, which is their pick'ems. So every week you can go in, pick higher or lower for specific guys, whether it's based on their total yards, touchdowns, completions. You can even pick defensive players, higher or lower on sacks, tackles, interceptions. Basically, you can make up to 20 times your money when you do that. So make sure you guys go use that promo code GetRight, and you'll receive that 100% deposit match when you make that first deposit. And in addition to that, they will also give you a new customer special. This week's new customer special is going to be Lamar Jackson, higher or lower than a half a total yard. So basically, it's a free pick. So you just have to add at least one more in there, up to more if you want to get up to the 20 times your money. So make sure you guys go download the Underdog Fantasy app today. Sign up using that promo code GetRight and get in one of those pick'em contests today. So go check them out.
Nice.
All right, so let's get that out of the way. So you want to do some start sit?
Sir. Or do you want to recap Thursday?
Yeah,
Thursday?
we could just do a real quick recap on
Yeah, we're going to do
games.
a quick one because, to be honest, I mean,
there's only one game I want to talk about, but let's go.
Well, this was the first game of the day. Packers-Lions. Packers won by 7. They look real good. And I don't like the Packers offense as a whole.
He doesn't. I can vouch for that.
Really don't. I don't like anybody in this offense other than maybe AJ Dillon. And I like his.
Because he's our boy. If you've seen the intro, that's our boy.
Yeah, but the only other guy that I like in this particular offense is Jaden Reed. I think he's the only one that you can actually trust moving forward. I understand Christian Watson's coming back a little bit. He was 7 for 5, 94 and a touchdown. He looked a lot better than he has. And I think that's part of why this offense is clicking a little bit. Tucker Kraft was a great play for DFS if you had him, just because he scored the touchdown.
I was like 2 catches and 15 yards. That's not great. But for a tight end, he's probably top 5 this week.
Yeah, he did okay. So, honestly, he wasn't a horrible pick. Jared Goff had a fucking miserable day, but ended up finishing with 8. He finished with 18 points, which is insane to me. He went for
with 3 turnovers. Yeah.
Oh, with 3 turnovers. It's insane. He threw, 332 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 fumble losses. He had 103 QB rating. What the hell?
Because the QB rating doesn't take into consideration the fumbles. That's why QBR is a little better.
Yeah, no, completely understand. And that's why it's just so funny to me. But he had a decent game through the air, but he looked flustered in the pocket. He had times where when he was throwing the ball, it was just like a duck every time. Gibbs wasn't used as much as he should be. He had 8 targets, which was nice, but only caught 4 for 19. David Montgomery got the touchdown. He had a touchdown. They called it back, and then he got it again, which was nice. They definitely use him a lot on the goal line, which is fantastic. Amon-Ra is that dude, doing well. It looks like Khalif Raymond took over the second position while we were asleep. But he
always has a game here or there.
Yeah, always works out.
I like the Jameson Williams flash was nice though.
I was gonna say the Jameson Williams. He got the 3 targets.
You might have missed it. It was a quick flash. It was a quick flash.
I don't like Jameson Winston at all. Or sorry, Jameson Williams. I'm not. I've been saying it.
You'll come around.
I'm never going to come around.
I'm gonna have to take a receipt on this one.
No, we already.
Let's see what happens next year.
First off, me and Frank have a $1 bet on it, and either way,
Gentleman's bet.
He's winning. Yeah, so I think he's winning because I said he's not playing for 6 games, and it's, it is what it is. I'll take my loss on that one, but I'm not. I just never was a fan of this guy. He's it is what it is. Sam Laporta got the touchdown. He should have had another one, and it got called back. I was really upset.
Yes, you and me both.
Oh, I was so mad. But he was 8 for 5 and 40.
It would have been the game tying.
I think it was the game tying. Yeah, I was so mad.
On fourth down.
It was
like
so
went right through his hands. Yeah.
Oh, that one too. Yeah. No, he's just so good. Love Sam Laporta.
And just going back to Jared Goff real quick, I looked it up. He had a QB. He did have a 103 passer rating, but his QBR was 15.2, 0 to 100. So yeah, it wasn't great when you factor all the other stuff in.
I'll take it because it was better than my next guy that we're going to be talking about. And that, there we go. And it is the Commanders. Who ended up eating shit. Had 10 points versus the Cowboys, who just decided, hey, you know what? I'm going to just run up the score. And it was a crazy game. What's the guy's name? Bland? I don't know his first name. I'm sorry. But Bland got his
the DB, his 5th pick six.
6th pick six of the year. He has 6 interceptions, and all 6 are for pick sixes. It's insane. Good for that guy. I'm happy for him. It's an NFL record. That was cool to watch. Unfortunately, it was not cool to watch.
Deron Bland's, and it was his
Deron
5th.
Bland. There we go. It was
his 5th.
Oh, I thought it was 6.
It was still a record, but yeah,
it was still a record. Yeah,
I think you got pick 6, 5th, 6th. It's close.
Yeah, I'm dyslexic. Deal with it.
I know. That's why it's just. I had to look it up to make sure, but
you were right.
I gotta trust the old ADD noggin over here.
Yeah, there you go.
The things I remember are a little weird.
Yeah, I know, right?
I don't know why I know all these things.
We had Sam Howell go for 300, but did throw an interception. But I honestly, Sam Howell looks pretty good considering. I mean,
QBR 57, 0 to 100. It's better than Goff.
Oh, way better. And on top of that, isn't he last I checked, he was QB 6. And I don't know what it is.
And heading into this week, he was the NFL's passing leader as far as passing yards. Passing yards. He's leading the league in passing yards. I don't think now, but yeah.
Oh, he's QB4 now? Holy.
Well,
Jesus.
That's because half the league hasn't played.
I know. Well, I know that. But he's within 8 points of Hurts, and he's above Herbert by 7. And I understand half the league but that's insane. Like, he's playing out of his mind in that case. 300 yards. I think he averages like 300 yards, roughly. Brian Robinson had a decent game. He had a ton of attempts with 15, running for 35. For 53. There's my dyslexia there. Antonio Gibson was a little bit more involved. He was a game time decision and ended up getting 4 targets, 3 receptions for 16 on top of the 22 yards that he rushed. Biggest thing I saw, it looked like Curtis Samuel, 9 receptions off 12 targets, 100 yards. He did real well.
Shout out to Underdog and all my best ball teams where my most owned players are Sam Howell and Curtis Samuel.
Curtis Samuel? Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I mean, he definitely showed up. I was a little nervous. I was texting Anthony beforehand. I thought of like trying to block one of my buddies, and he ended up.
I told you it was going to happen.
Yeah. Well, no, this was last week, and I didn't do it, and I'm kind of glad. But he didn't go for him. He went for Rondale Moore and ended up beating me anyway.
Because he went for a 48-yard touchdown, but then that was the only. Time he even played. Yeah.
The only time, and it had to be against me.
Right.
So, I mean, it was
one catch, 48 yards and a touchdown. Yeah, he'll take those 11 PPR points.
DeJuan Dotson did a little bit better, 5 receptions for 52 yards. McLaren, 4 for 50.
You like the 11 targets, but only 4 catches. Yeah, for 50 yards.
And then Dak just went off, 331 yards, 4 touchdowns. Pollard finally got
as long as he don't do it against my Niners, I don't care what he does in all the other games.
Rico Dowdle, whatever. He scored a
Dowdle.
touchdown. So did CeeDee Lamb. Everybody, it's like he was.
That should have been Ferguson's 15-yard touchdown. That makes me mad.
Oh, it should have. And I was a little upset. I needed Ferguson to get 3 receptions, and of course, he didn't. But it's okay. He had a little.
Shout out
bit
to
of a rough
Brandon
day.
Cooks though, balling
Oh my
lately.
God. Yeah, but you know what? Dak Prescott was like, "You want a touchdown? I'm going to give you a touchdown." He goes, "Yeah, exactly." He goes to CeeDee Lamb. He goes to Brandon Cooks. CeeDee Lamb only had 4 receptions for 53 yards and a touchdown.
But he
Could've
did
had it
miss
bigger.
like
Yeah,
a
he did.
40-yarder or something like that.
I
That
saw
just wide open. Looked like Jimmy G to Emmanuel Sanders. I'm still not ready to talk about it.
that.
But
Yeah, it was
just
it was
missed
a
him.
crazy day. I thought that was a really annoying game to watch just because I hate watching the Cowboys win. But beyond that, it was great day for the Cowboys, bad day for the Commanders, and yeah.
Now let's talk about the real game of the week.
Yeah, let's talk
the
about
one that they saved. The
The
one
other
that they saved from
blowout.
nighttime.
Yeah, the other blowout that I ended up falling asleep in the second half too because of the fact that they were just getting.
Oh, it's when it got interesting in the
destroyed.
second half.
Yeah, well, they got destroyed, and Roston didn't even put up the Seattle numbers. So we're going to just talk about the Brock Purdy.
They didn't have any. What was I going to put up?
I was just going to say the number. But Brock Purdy killing it like usual. 209 with a touchdown and a pick 6. Unfortunately for him,
didn't have a great game. Yeah, that pick 6. I think his QBR was only like 67.
Yeah, but
passer rating 86. It wasn't great.
You saw Debo come back. Doing
as a receiver, 9 targets.
9 targets.
That's not Debo. Like usually, it's like in that 4 to 6 range if you're lucky.
Well, I thought it would be Ayuk, and Ayuk is only 2. He was 4 targets, 2 receptions for 50 yards and a touchdown.
Huge touchdown, the game-sealing touchdown. That was a huge play.
And I was disappointed in Kittle only getting 3 for 19, which Brock Purdy has shown that he loves Kittle and he loves Ayuk, and it just seemed to switch this week to Debo and McCaffrey.
Whatever the matchups dictate.
Receptions. Yeah, I guess so.
Everybody got to eat on Thanksgiving.
Yeah. And, Seahawks we're not going to talk about just because they didn't really have a game. They didn't really do anything crazy.
Charbonnet didn't do anything.
Yeah, Charbonnet didn't do anything. So not worth talking about. Let's move on.
Shavarius Ward just put the locks on DK.
Well, no, he got into his head.
Lockett didn't do anything. They targeted him once. It was interception. I mean, there's just nothing. I think Noah Fant probably had the best game out of everybody's statistic.
Oh, and that's the worst thing to have if Noah Fant is the most statistical best player on your team. So let's move on to the Dolphins and the Jets. We have Tua doing Tua things. Now, if you didn't get to watch the game, if you watched in the second half, you might have noticed that Tua had this like Band-Aid on his right arm.
He had like some crazy gash. I saw that. Yeah. It was like a chunk.
It was at least
stitches.
Oh, he's definitely gonna. Yeah, but
he needs stitches for that.
Oh my God, it was incredible that he was playing through that. Insane. Good for him. He had a decent day. 243 touchdown and 2 interceptions. I mean, and a fumble loss. So it's not a great game for him. But everybody else had a good game because Mostert had 3 touchdowns. For
the second time this year.
My wife hates me. I pulled Raheem Mostert out of her lineup for Barkley, Mixon, and Dave Montgomery. So sorry, babe.
Over Mixon?
Yeah.
Why are you starting?
Well, because the
Mixon over Mostert.
Jets defense is good too, and he only had 2 touchdowns, not 3. We have 3 listed. How do you?
They have 3 listed.
Did
you not see the last touchdown?
I didn't. I saw 2. Yeah, I have 2 listed right here. Game log 2.
Maybe they had a mess up then because I copy and pasted that.
I know. Weird. Wait a minute. Hold on.
So maybe they just had to update it.
Maybe he got a touchdown near the end.
I thought so.
I thought that was.
I was prepping right before it, but yeah.
Hold on.
It could have been. Maybe it's just 2. Maybe it was just a
error
on the site.
He only got it is an error on the site. He only got 2 touchdowns, 94 yards.
Oh yeah, it says 2 now. Okay, yeah. So it must have just been messed up at the time.
Because the only touchdown that went at all was to our good friend Tyreek Hill, who ended up getting injured during the game. He ended up he kind of fell on his ankle and twisted a little bit. He definitely got it wrapped and everything. He should be okay. It's early, so that's good. So they get a little bit of a short week. But was 9 for 102 even after that. On 12 targets. Waddle was 8 for 8, 114. So that's good for him. Wilson, Jeff Wilson was involved pretty well. There were 31 rushing attempts, and he had 56 yards of that. So, I mean, that's not bad. He had 3 targets, not up for a lot of yards, but ended up doing well. Yeah. So, I mean, we don't want to look at the Jets stats. The only one that you want to look at is Garrett Wilson. Went 7 receptions on 10 targets, 44 and a garbage time touchdown. The other fun part of this game, there was a Hail Mary pick 6, which was fun to watch. I had the Dolphins defense in quite a few spots, and I was just like, this. I was jumping up and down in my living room, and my wife goes, "Stop!" So it was quite
exciting.
Fun. Oh, it was just too exciting. And she was sitting there like, "Holy crap, holy crap!" And I'm sitting there like, "Go, go, go!" Yeah,
I felt the same way when Bland was running back his pick 6 too.
When he got,
I
didn't realize.
I was like, "Juke that fool!"
I didn't realize he was that close on that historic moment. I just knew that he's had a decent year, and I didn't realize it was Bland until after. And I'm sitting there like, "Holy shit, he's gonna make it! He's gonna do it!" And I'm like, "Oh my god, yeah, that was a crazy moment." So
that was cool. A lot of good stuff, man. Oh, I love football, man. I just love this stuff. All right, so what else do we got? What up, Warrior? How's it going, man?
He goes, "I'm so glad I played Mostert. I was a little bummed out when he only had 1 point in the first half. Yeah, he was barely used, and then all of a sudden he went off.
Don't freak out like Classic does. Like Classic will text me after the first drive on someone he was on the fence of starting or not, and it's like one series, and he's like, "Oh, that's it. I should have started the other guy." And I'm like, "Bro, he's had like 2 carries."
I did that last week with Jared Goff. I started Jared Goff over Josh Allen, and it was the worst decision I ever made. And I'm sitting there like, well, it wasn't like the worst. I ended up doing okay. But at the end of the day, I'm sitting there like, holy crap. Like, he only scored like 5 points more than Goff. And I was just like, okay, whatever.
Which wouldn't have even been that, which he would have done higher had he not thrown the 3 picks or whatever last game, too. Yeah. So, yeah, it would have been 6 more points. So,
it is what
you made the right choice. I still made the right choice, Classic.
This is a good one here. So, full PPR.
What's going on, Vito?
He goes Douglas, Downs, or Shaheed. That's a good question.
I hate recommending New England guys, but like I'd go Douglas.
I can't.
Just because he's the number 1.
I can't. He's
at least the number 1. Shaheed, you better hope he just scores a big time touchdown.
Well, with Michael Thomas out of the lineup, it kind of opens things up for him to be.
Douglas is going up against your Giants. I could see.
I never pick a Patriots guy because no, I don't give a shit about that. Yeah, for one, I'm looking to tank. 2, I am at the point in my particular point in the season that I'm looking at what works and what doesn't. The Pats offense is not working some way, somehow. So Douglas is doing okay, but he's getting like 8 targets for 3 catches and 80 yards. I don't know. Downs and Shaheed are the 2 that I like more, and I'd probably aim for Shaheed because he has the higher upside.
I mean, Shaheed has the highest ceiling, I think. Yeah. I think Downs has the chance for your, nice middling range with some potential upside in full PPR. But like Demario Douglas is coming off basically 4 straight games with 7 or more targets. He has 6 catches in each of them. He's just coming off a 6-catch, 84-yard game. Hasn't scored a touchdown yet, so you could either consider that, he's not going to score a touchdown, but it is the Giants. Maybe he does finally score his touchdown. He is due, as I like to say, when people haven't scored a touchdown yet. We
don't know who's throwing him the ball. That's the problem, because Bill Belichick has yet to announce his starting QB.
Have you seen Mac Jones? They're like, "How are you starting?" He's like, "I think so, but I'm not sure."
I'm not sure. Yeah. So I mean,
that's crazy.
And then do you want Mac Jones throwing the ball, or do you want Blake Zapp? Or wait.
Either way, if he's going to get 10 targets against your Giants, I could be the quarterback and I'd start whoever I was throwing to.
Don't say that. You're going to have Thibodeau come up your ass and get you.
Yeah, okay.
Thibodeau's
let's
in
just
the
block
top
that guy.
5 in sack leaders. Let's be very
I'll give you
clear
that.
here.
I'll give you that.
All right.
Yeah, I might have to see the chiropractor after that game, but
Yeah.
either way, my wide receiver one would be
So
getting the ball.
I
But
want to
no,
say
good stuff.
Shaheed. I think Douglas is definitely the safer floor, but Shaheed is definitely the higher ceiling. I think Downs
Yeah.
is kind of hard to. Downs is hard to gauge. He's just very hard to gauge.
Yeah, and he's kind of in that right in between, a little banged up,
Yeah, and on top of that, I mean, they're coming
Other
off
options
a
in
bye.
that offense.
Well,
You got
he's coming off a
Pittman,
bye
you got
healthy.
JT.
And
Yeah.
Pittman's been more targeted than Downs. It's just Downs tends to be in a better scenario because he doesn't have as much coverage. So I don't mind Shaheed, but I also don't mind Douglas. Downs is the only guy I'm a little unsure about.
Yeah. You could say Shaheed coming into that number 2 role, without Mike Evans there. And
he could turn into more of a possession guy than a deep threat. And then they use him every so often in that deep threat role, and he gets that one big touchdown every time. So I don't know. I
set up that double move nice and easy with something like that. So
yeah.
If you need a little boom in your lineup, then go Shaheed. If you're looking for a little more floor, go Douglas. You're looking for someone kind of in between, you can go with Downs. That's how I'd say it.
Yeah. So
There you go.
Warrior
Good luck,
Loft goes, someone in my league dropped Miles Sanders. Okay, fair. Do you think things, touches, and snaps will swing his way again, or will Chuba still get 50? Honestly,
it's still 50-50.
It's still 50-50. And honestly, neither one of them have shown that they can.
Yeah, they're both on my bench right now. Both of them.
Yeah.
Several spots.
Me too.
First, it was like, okay, Sanders was hurt. Let me throw him in my IR. Let me get Chuba. He was doing good. Sanders came back. Chuba was kind of the starter, and then it just turned into this split. Now they're both on my bench.
Yeah, and you got one on someone else's bench as well because you traded him away in Dynasty. So
that's right, for Christian McCaffrey. Oh, that's right. That was a good move in the beginning of the season.
No,
that's right. Hey, I was on there with you.
It
was a 3-way trade. Yeah, it was a 3-way trade.
See, but
somewhat.
You can't say
you contributed.
No,
you contributed.
No, I made
to the overall.
So that it could happen. But
that's what I mean. You contributed.
I didn't give anything away to give you Christian McCaffrey. I
was the
one that gained. I gained Pittman and Sanders, and then flip Pittman for Nico Collins.
That's a great move.
But at the same time, it's one of the in a first round or no, first and second round pick. I forgot. Either way, I ended up getting a decent amount with it coming back, but I kept.
But we were high on Sanders, man, in the beginning of the year.
Yeah,
so I can't blame you. I can't even rub that in your face. It wasn't like I saw it coming because I drafted him in several other places. That's why it was even a fair enough trade at the time to get it done, because we all thought
fair enough.
We didn't think they were going to be that bad. So
no, not at all.
Interesting, but good stuff.
So Warrior Loft goes in weeks 2 through 3. Do you guys think?
No, in 2 to 3 weeks.
Oh, in 2 to 3 weeks. Do you guys think the Titans will sit Henry more and give younger Spears a chance to show how good he is? No, they will not.
If anything, it'd be the opposite. Why put the extra wear and tear on a guy you might be moving in next season with and risk him getting hurt?
Even though they're 3-7, I think they're going to run Henry into the ground. And on top of that, he tends to do better in the winter.
Yeah. So, and he puts people in the seats. You guys got to remember, there is that aspect of it as well. He's marketable. There is a business side of this. There is a marketing and sales team that has to sell tickets in
2.5 years. Like, come on.
Yeah. So you're gonna write him off there.
Yeah.
And you want to get his value up in case they do want to trade him as well too. So you can't just sit him and make him seem unplayable.
Yeah,
you gotta think of the bigger picture, guys.
And you got and on top of that, I mean, he's playing behind a crap line. Imagine Derrick Henry running behind the Eagles or the Lions O-line. The guy would be freaking insane. Like, just let's be clear, he's a one step and he's gone. So he is somebody that is hard not to play. And I understand Spears and all that, but I'm not touching that. I think Henry is going to be the guy. So
there we go.
All right, let's move on to these games.
For sure. Yeah, let's get through it. Try to get out of here.
Yes, sir. So we got the Saints, who are 5-5. What?
I was going to say I'm starting to lose my voice now. I'm still dealing with my sickness, but yeah, it's starting to go. But go ahead. We got reset it for my timestamps. Go ahead.
Okay, ready? Hold on. Reset. So we we have the Saints who are 5-5 going to Atlanta to visit the Falcons in an NFC matchup who are 4-6. We got the Saints who are 1.5 point favorites. My bad. The over-under is 41.5. Falcons are going to be missing Mac Hollins for this particular game. Saints are going to be without Kendrick Miller and Marshawn Lattimore. Both are going to be out this week. Derek Carr should be active. We won't know until tomorrow. And he should be out of concussion protocol. He still has the shoulder injury, but he's practicing full. So right now, players that I want in this game, definitely Alvin Kamara. He is definitely a start. For the Falcons, who do you want more, Bijan or Tyler Algier?
Bijan for sure. Algier I could see as a kind of low end flex type play, just in case, because we don't, like you said, we don't know what the hell Arthur Smith is conjuring up off this bye week here. You'd like to see 20 touches again, like we did last week for Bijan. So if that continues, Algier is probably going to be an afterthought. But again, I wouldn't put anything past it. I'm trying to decide right now whether I want to start Bijan or Mixon.
Okay. I would go Mixon.
I know. I've kind of going back and forth on the two.
Clear on volume, and it's just, yeah.
Yeah, I had him, Demont, and somebody else. Demont, Mixon, and Bijan. And so I obviously started Montgomery. Okay. So now I'm just trying to wait to see who I want to, when I wake up on Sunday, who am I going with? That's one of my decisions. So I haven't decided yet, but I'm probably leaning Bijan just to see. Okay. I'm doing okay in that league, so it's not like I need a win. So I'm in first place. So I'm like,
so we got Perry Williams asking a good question, and I was going to throw you another one anyway, but he decided to throw this out there, which I like. Would you play Isaiah Likely, Drake London, or Cortland Sutton? And he puts Sutton versus Denzel Ward, London versus Lattimore, which it is not Lattimore. It will be whoever their number 2 is. So would it be London or Sutton?
I want to go Sutton.
I'm going to go Sutton
even
too.
Against Ward, but yeah.
Yeah. I don't like the matchup, but Sutton has been that dude for the last few weeks. So I'm going to lean that way. I can't trust Drake London.
Yeah, more so I can't trust Drake London. I'm definitely not playing a second string tight end over.
Okay.
Over
now,
Sutton, so yeah.
I'm going to go with some QB ones. We're going to go with Derek Carr or Gardner Minshew.
I will take Carr as long as they say he's like good. I'm going to go Carr.
Okay.
It's going to be
What
close,
about Desmond Ridder or Carr?
I'll go Carr.
Okay. Tight ends wise, we got a couple of decent tight ends in this game. We have Jonnu Smith, Kyle Pitts. We also have Taysom Hill and Juwan Johnson. So out of those 4, who do you like the most?
I'm sitting all of them.
Okay. You're sitting all of them.
For the most part.
Okay. But you had to pick one. Pick one out of those 3 or out of those 4.
I guess maybe Jonnu. I don't like he's the one maybe I feel the most comfortable with, but maybe again Hill.
Come on now. You're talking.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. Like honestly, like I think there's like I'd rather start Everett or Parham over either one of these guys against Baltimore. Like I'd literally rather start one of them over the 4 guys.
The only guy
in this
that
game.
I feel comfortable with possibly is Taysom Hill, and it's just because he has the most upside of all of them. And it's just because he's used as a true switch. He's a Swiss Army knife, and they label him as a tight end. So even though his projections are low as can be, because he can get 14, he can run the ball 14 times and only get 20 yards because he's usually used on short yardage, but he's involved in the passing game as well. So actually, this is a great question. So drop Keaton Mitchell or Taysom Hill? I'd rather
keep the running back.
Yeah. My initial thought was Keaton too. Is keep Keaton, drop Taysom.
So. Anything happens to Gus, like Mitchell's going to be the next guy up. So
for sure. So for me, yeah, I got to agree with that as well. But otherwise, yeah, there's not much really going in this game. 41 point over under. It's pretty clear how we feel about this particular game with the people in it. So let's move on to the next game. Let's go to the Steelers, who are 4-6. Or sorry, wow, I got to start getting my shit right. Steelers.
You want me to read that off?
No, I got it. So we got the Steelers, who are 6-4, going against the Bengals in an AFC North. Bengals versus Bengals at 5-5.
You could have said the Joe Burrow-less Bengals. That would have been a better little headline.
Ooh, good point. Joe Burrow-less Bengals. Looks like Pittsburgh is favored by 2. The over-under is 35.5. T. Higgins has been ruled out, so he's the only real big injury out of this group. There's a couple on the Steelers, but it's really just Minka Fitzpatrick and a few lower guys on the totem pole. So for this matchup, would you play? Oh, and the bigger news that we didn't even get to: Matt Canada has been relieved of his OC duties, which is kind of significant. Just because they never let go of anybody, apparently.
Definitely not mid-season.
Not mid-season. They've never let go of anyone mid-season until now, which is crazy. So let's take a quick, minute and think: do you play Kenny Pickett or Browning?
Honestly, sitting both. But
I'm not disagreeing. You're picking one, though.
If I had to pick both, one of the two, I'd probably go with. I might just roll my chances with Browning. No, I'd roll my chances with Browning because he has Chase, man.
Okay.
Like Chase should see like 15 targets this game, and remember, Chase can get open against anybody. So this is when we need to see it happen, man. And they did find that connection late in the last game once they kind of get warmed up with one another. And I think after a full week of practice, I'm sure they have some good play designs, built towards Browning's strengths, whatever those are that he showed. And he literally looks like Joe Burrow on the field, like especially since he wears number 6 and Burrow's 9. They literally look exactly the same. It always reminded me of Madison and Cook. When it came in, you couldn't even tell. That. They literally look exactly the same. But yeah, so we'll see. But yeah, I would roll my chances with him because what you're getting with Pickett. What was that? Sorry,
Adam Chase.
My brain was finishing.
Jamar Chase or Adam Thielen?
Chase.
Jamar Chase or Cooper Kupp?
Probably Kupp.
Okay.
Chase, I'd find a way to get both of them in there, but yeah.
Jamar Chase or Nico Collins?
I'd still go in Chase there.
Devontae Adams.
It's a lot closer because Noah Brown's out. When Dell Brown and Nico are on there, they all kind of cannibalize each other. So I like when one of them's out.
Chase or Devontae Adams? I was trying to find this. I was going to say
that's about the line because I think we were talking about it. I kind of have all them. I have Kupp, Chase, and Adams all kind of in that 15, 16, 17 kind of range I'm right in there.
Right now.
Yeah, so you hit my line. That's where it's just kind of whichever one you feel like right there. But that's about where I'm at. I think I'd still, both rookie guys coming in.
Michael Pittman or Jamar Chase?
Oh, I think I might have to go Pittman on that one.
Evans, Chase.
But I think I'd still go Chase. Evans, Mike Evans.
Mike Evans. Or Chase.
I'm playing Mike Evans over Chase with Baker. Okay. Yeah, right. They've had that established connection. Everything that all those guys you mentioned all have not the original quarterbacks throwing to their alpha 1 receivers. That's what they all had in common. So that a lot of those questions will change after we see the connection between Browning and Chase. We just haven't seen it quite yet. But the fact that he still had a decent game in a half a game last week with him, and Chase was still able to score that touchdown. That's why he's still a lot more ahead. Had we not seen that touchdown or those last couple completions that he had on those last 2 drives last week, then I wouldn't really have Chase aside. But I think, as the game went on and he settled in, it's a tough job to come in as a backup quarterback, having your star quarterback go down when you're thinking you're probably never going to play, to just step in and do that. So I think once he kind of settled down and realized who he needed to throw it to, And that throw was a really nice throw. That touchdown throw, that was
Yeah, it
like
was
timing,
good.
that was
And
anticipation. It was a back
guys,
shoulder kind of comeback type route right on the corner of the end zone. Like if you miss that throw, that's a pick six the other way.
oh yeah, for sure.
So yeah, so I think he has some potential. I liked the little flashes that I saw. So and I spent $54 of fab on him in our dynasty league
Yeah,
since I
dude,
had Joe Burrow. So
crazy.
I got like 7 quarterbacks in that league. I need to do
I
something
know.
with all those
Hey, I
guys.
tried trading for one of them, man. You
Hey, and
said
I'm
no.
glad I
Anyway,
didn't too. I'm
I
glad I
know.
didn't because I'm starting him this week.
Yeah.
Hey,
Anyway,
had you given me a second for him, I probably would have done it.
I couldn't
Did you eventually offer me a second?
probably.
Oh, it was the other league. Somebody eventually offered me a
I
second. I even
definitely
still said no to
definitely
that.
offered you something.
It was a
but
third and then like a third and a fourth. I think
Yeah,
was the most you went for it. But yeah, it was well
Anyway,
worth it. Anyway, go ahead.
do you play Deontay Johnson today?
No, I have him as a sit. I just need to see more. I don't
Okay,
trust
what about
Pickett. Not
Pickett
because of Johnson, but it's just Pickett. Pickens.
or Pickens? Yeah.
I'm sitting him right now too.
Okay.
I just got to see a little more. out
Are
of
you
those guys.
you're still in the Warren camp over Harris?
Yeah, Warren over Harris, and yeah. Keep
Okay.
it simple.
Who's the number 2 for the Bengals that you're playing? Boyd or Irvin?
Boyd.
Yeah, I'm playing Boyd too. Another guy that you can consider, and one guy that I think might be used, is Tanner Hudson. Tanner Hudson is a guy that I can see as being their next tight end. He seems to be heavily involved with when Burrow was in. Granted, I understand it's a little bit different now that he's not, but Tanner was still looked at. I see Tanner Hudson as he's still a tight end too. He's not anybody that you're gonna like play, but he's definitely someone you got to keep on your radar and have on your bench. I'm definitely thinking about him in Dynasty. I already did. I already picked him up. Already have him in a couple of leagues. So I would definitely start thinking about Tanner Hudson moving forward. Definitely worth it down the stretch if you might need a tight end for, a filler week. So
but I'm starting Fairmouth over all the other tight ends.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. So we got.
He's probably the one Steeler I feel the most comfortable starting would be.
Okay.
Fairmouth.
No, that's fair. I was going to ask that question. Fairmouth. Okay.
Beat you too.
So we got a couple of questions that flew in while we were talking. We got
I didn't see that. Let's go.
Hawkinson on a bye next week. Start Logan Thomas or Taysom Hill. Now, we understand it's a little bit in advance there, Warrior Love. But if you had to make a pick right now, it's tough. I don't even know who they're playing, to be honest.
I'm probably just going Thomas.
I'm going to go Thomas just because I feel a little bit more comfortable in those waters. They're playing the Dolphins and Hal throws a lot. So I think I'm going to go with that. Saints are playing
I just think that Taysom Hill window is closed. He gave us
Saints
that
against
little
the
run that he
Lions.
gives us. But
I'm gonna go Logan Thomas for now. And he goes, Logan Thomas is kind of hit or miss. I almost want to play Hill just because of the upside. Understood. I get that.
Yeah. And again, it's just tight end, so just throw one of them in there, you'd be fine.
So we got a trade. I don't know if this is a question or just letting us know. Oh, here it is. So was offered Kupp and Walker for Eckler, or trade Eckler and Evans for, oh my God, Kansas City D, Cowboys D, and Lamb.
No, he said Eckler, Evans, Kansas City D for the Cowboys D and Lamb.
Yeah.
So keep Eckler and
Evans.
Keep Eckler and Evans.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are not good enough offers for me, Leo.
Yeah, that's not Cowboys D. Well, I understand they're doing good, but not that good.
I love trades that involve defenses, though. They're just like these weird throw in pieces. I think it's hilarious. But I don't know. Like even for me with tight end,
Cowboys D on their own is good. I get it, but not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
I'm glad the trades are almost over. Trade deadlines.
KJ.
No
way. It's the saddest time of the year for me.
So with Brown being a possible sit, how high does Greg Dortch get ranked this week? So he's talking about Marquise Brown.
Yeah, my thoughts on all Arizona players, basically, except for maybe McBride would see my lineup. Otherwise, I feel like all my other options are better than Brown and Dortch and all those guys.
So
maybe
we're
Connor,
going to
but-
get to that game a little later. But in this case, Brown was limited in practice, most likely going to be – he was limited in practice on Wednesday, did not practice Thursday and Friday. He was – it looks like he's going to be out. So if that's the case, and the other person that's out for that game is Michael Wilson. So for this particular game, you only have Rondale Moore and Greg Dortch and Trey McBride. So
yeah, didn't
out of
Dortch get
those,
like 9 targets or something crazy?
Yeah,
He's like
he
Justin
did.
Watson all of a sudden. Like
Yeah.
I'm just not staying away from Arizona players.
I'm trying to stay away as much as I can, but yeah, not my
I'm
cup
not
of tea.
chasing any of that. Yeah.
Yeah, I would be happy to find a guy off waivers if need be. So, all right, let's move right along to the Jaguars, who are
Sorry,
7
KJ.
Yeah, sorry, buddy. Jaguars, who are 7-3, going to visit the Houston Texans, another divisional matchup. Who are 6-4. Jags are 1.5 point favorites. The over/under is 47.5. Noah Brown is going to be out for the Texans this week. Dameon Pierce is listed as questionable, but he practiced in full all week, so he should be good to go. So we'll get to see how this offense runs with him and Singletary in it. Singletary has had control of it for the last 3 weeks, so we'll get to see how that goes. Jaguars are listing Zay Jones as questionable, so as for now, he is playing. Well, probably will play. We'll find out more closer to our Sunday show, so keep in, come join me on Sunday.
Tune in on Sunday. There you go. Good,
tune in
nice
Sunday.
plug.
Yeah, I
Nice
was
plug.
trying to get in there.
Good job.
So for this game, I mean, it's kind of clear. Well, it's not
A
clear.
lot of
It's
starts in
actually-
this one. I was gonna say
Well-
there's a lot of starts in this one though, compared to the other ones we were just
Well, I was
talking
going to
about.
say, yeah, you can pretty much start everybody in this matchup, in my opinion. But let's have fun here. Trevor Lawrence or CJ Stroud?
Stroud.
Okay. Let's go to the running back and/or flex spot. So let's go
ETN.
with.
We don't even have to go there.
No,
But you
I
could
wasn't even
ask
gonna
me
throw
Singletary
ETN.
or-
No,
Oh,
I was
okay,
gonna
okay.
go. Come on now, I'm not that stupid. I know.
I was gonna,
who
you know my,
like.
you know my
No, I
affinity
love
for
you, love.
ETN. He's never coming out of my lineup. Even against my
Slowly.
Niners, I started him.
Slowly changing.
Oh.
I'm
Whoa.
slowly coming around. Slowly.
Whoa. Okay. Welcome
Anyway.
to the. Just come on over, Classic. It's a good place to be.
So I can't really use.
Let's just do it. Yeah. All right. Go ahead.
So let's go with Tank Dell or Calvin Ridley.
Ooh. With Zay in the lineup. Ooh.
Wow,
that
let's
is
just say Zay
tough.
plays.
Yeah, that is tough. I have them like right there. Oh man. Gun to my head.
Gun to your head.
I think I would roll with Tank Dell, man. I'd roll with the hot hand right now. I mean, I know Ridley just came off a big game, but I gotta get Dell in there, man. I gotta do it.
Okay. What about Devin Singletary or Evan Ingram?
Oh, Singletary. I don't like flexing tight ends.
I don't like flexing tight ends either, but sometimes it's worth it. It's based on who the tight end is.
True.
But let me go with, let's try another one. Nico Collins or Christian Kirk?
Nico.
Okay. Christian Kirk or I guess Tank Dell would be the
Dell.
Yeah. Evan Ingram or Dalton Schultz? I have both.
Ooh, that is a tough one.
I'm not playing either, but I'm wondering.
Yeah, no, that's a good one. I think I might go. Gosh, that's a tough one because they're both like almost the same guy.
Yeah,
Like
they
in their offense to their quarterback, like they're literally the same
And I
guy. But
think-
I'd probably go Schultz just because I think he has some more. I don't think Evan Ingram has scored a touchdown this year, has he?
I'm looking right now, and on top of that, I think Evan Ingram leads tight ends in passing yards, if memory serves me. Let me.
I don't think he
double-
scored a touchdown. That
Hold
might be the
on.
kicker for me there.
Hold on a second. Why am I getting weird numbers here? Well, Schultz is ahead of him, so I'm assuming Schultz has the touchdown upside.
Yeah, no touchdowns for Ingram
No
right now.
touchdown, right? Yeah.
Mm-mm.
So Schultz has 5 compared to Ingram, who has none. But yardage wise, Ingram has
475.
3, 4, 5. He's 6th, and he was first for a little bit. He's slowly getting out of it. So, yeah, I think Schultz might be the answer too.
Yeah. Plus A. Jones coming back, so that might
eat into that. Yeah.
Evan. Yeah.
So we got another question. We just got offered Tank Dell for. Oh, so sorry. This is Super CNB Challengers. What's going on, man? Thank you for coming to the show. Make sure you guys like and subscribe if you haven't already. Just got offered Tank Dell for Jamar Chase, PPR. Am I crazy for heavily considering it? Now, if this is Dynasty, I'm not doing it. If it's for the rest of the year and it's a redraft league, what do you think on redraft? Are you saying this is too early to do it?
I can't do it. Okay. I mean, I know deadlines are coming up. Yeah. So if you were going to do it now, it's purely a gamble. Like, the upside's going to be gone, but I think like even a not fully upside Jamar Chase with Browning is still going to be fairly similar to CJ with Dell. You also have to remember Noah Brown's been out these last couple of weeks, and you kind of have some recency bias with that. I think once you add another, pass catcher in that offense, that could.
Well, Robert Woods is still back up too. Robert Woods,
and you have Woods too. Yeah, I keep forgetting about Woods.
But
so
you got to remember,
back.
It's usually
Noah Brown back.
Well, but remember, it's usually going to be Woods, Nico, and Tank. Noah just kind of fills in on the outside to relieve guys like Woods.
But have we seen him back with Woods though? So
no, but neither one.
Did he truly leap him over on the depth chart?
Yes,
because Noah had some really good games.
The first 4 games of the year, Woods was in with Nico and Tank Dell.
Well, I mean, then they traded for. Yeah, I was going to say, but then he came in and then he balled out while Woods was out. Woods came back.
Team.
Noah went out. That's what I mean. No, I just meant like as far as their usage. And then once you have someone pop like Noah did, like Woods wasn't really doing much before he came in. Like he's never had a run like Brown had. So I don't know. I think Noah has let Woods, but since he's been hurt, they've had to play Woods. So when Brown's back, I don't think he. But again, that's why it just creates all that.
Dell's the
nastiness.
One that keeps his seat though. That's the whole point.
Oh, Dell and Collins are the 1 and 2. I think for sure.
That's my complete point.
Yeah,
is that Dell is in a spot where he can be. He's going to be the number 2. Jamar is always going to be 1. And in this case, do you want the 2 connected to Stroud or the 1 connected to Browning?
And that 1's a really good one. Like he's the number 2 wide receiver overall coming into the year. Like,
I don't
that's
disagree,
the
but that's you.
I'm sticking with my guy Chase, man. I couldn't do it, but again, you're not crazy. He didn't say whether he should do it. His technical question is he crazy for considering it?
No.
So my answer to your question is no. And that's what I'll leave it at. Now, if you ask me, should you take the trade or not, that might lead into a longer conversation, as you can tell. But as far as the question you answered, I'll say no, you're not crazy.
You're definitely not crazy. I will say that. But like I have a buddy of mine that actually in a redraft league dropped Jamar Chase. He dropped him outright. Dropped him, and
he should be on the can't cut list.
You would think, but that's the thing. He ended up cutting him because that's he just feels strongly about how Browning is going to play and in general. See, I've always been this is my philosophy with a lot of things, and the biggest thing is the quality of the target. He could get 10 targets a game. But he's only going to catch like 3 or 4.
Yeah, but look at Wilson and Wilson,
15.
Though. Look at Wilson and Wilson.
And you're going off the touchdown that he had today, though. So then
but I'm just saying, like, if you're that good, it's not inflating. If you're that good as a talent,
7 for 44 is horrible.
That's not horrible. Not with with the touchdown, you got to still put the touchdown in there. You can't take it away because then you could just add and be like, well, if he caught a 40-yard catch. Like, you know what I'm saying? You can't just only use it in one way. But that's what but he was the target. When they were there and they needed a score, he was who they drew the play up for. And he was the one who was open. The defense all knows that, and he still scored. Like that's
True,
what I'm
but-
saying is the skill is there. Same thing last week with Jamar Chase.
But
They all knew who's the only option.
But they were
I'm
down
just
Allen
saying.
Lazard as well. So I mean,
They're not down. Alan Lazard's been down
I know,
already.
but
He wasn't anything to even worry
I'm-
about. That was a
I don't
waste of
know.
$44 million.
It was.
I'm just saying,
But-
like, there's a lot of those situations around the league, especially right now. Like, look at Addison and Dobbs.
Quality target.
You know what I'm saying?
To me,
They're still producing in fantasy. So that's all I'm saying. So
I'd rather have a quality target than to put my guy. See, the other part that people don't always realize, and if you haven't noticed it, there's been a lot of times when you have the second quarterback thrown to the first wide receiver, who's a stud in this case. They're going to get hurt at one point because they're going to put the ball in the spot that they shouldn't, and he's going to get freaking walloped in the middle
can't
of the
predict
field.
injuries.
I can't predict shit, but
Can't do that.
at the same time, I think
Can't
about
use that as
shit.
an argument. Yeah, you can think
Wow.
about it, but you can't use it as a valid argument.
I'd rather have the quality of target for Tank Dell, but I understand this particular scenario. Like
Yeah.
you're definitely not crazy, but at the end of the time, I'm sitting here like, is that worth it? Would it be worth it? Like, who are you trading Jamar Chase for to get? Like, are
Tank
you
Dell.
willing to sell him right now? Are you
Me?
willing to sell Jamar Chase?
No, because my value of him is too high, apparently, based on this
You are.
conversation.
You're too high.
But I don't think I'm too high on that much of a talent. Like when you're open, these guys are, even if they're the number 2 quarterback, they're still professional NFL caliber players. Like if Jamar Chase gets open and he throws it to him, he's going to catch it. Like that's my whole thing is he's that good. Now, if you have a marginal wide receiver that can't create separation or beat his man in man press coverage, then that's going to be a bad matchup. But when you have somebody that's wide open, like I can hit a dude that's wide open, as long as he can make the throw, then you're good. So like, you know what I'm saying? And again, we just talked about the throw that he made, but we just talked about the throw that he made in that game at the end of the game.
That he threw with
it was an amazing back shoulder throw. But that's what I'm saying is you can't just oh well that one, like, you know what I'm saying?
Boyle. Like Tim Boyle actually has played in the league for more.
No,
than
I'm not
one.
talking about Boyle. I'm talking about Brandon and Chase last week.
That corner. Yeah.
That was a great throw. Like, so those are the kind of things that I'm looking at to where, okay, there's some chemistry there. It was anticipatory. He threw it with Chase's back, still turned. Chase turned, cut out, and knew where it was supposed to be. Boom, connected, touchdown. Like, that's a hard throw. Like we said, you missed 6 inches to the right, and that's a pick six the other way. You know what I mean? So, like, it's there. And Chase is that good to create that separation, and it was a great concept. And so I think after a week of practice, they should still have a good connection. Like, he's not going to go for 9 for 156 and 2 touchdowns, but like he can go for 6 on 9 targets for like 50 and a touchdown. Like, that's good. Like, that's what I expect Chase to, kind of do. Maybe 80 something. You know what I mean? Like, but again, like Dell, you can get 9 for 150 or 130 and a touchdown or 2. Like, there is that other side of it, but again, I don't think Chase is like I'm not dropping him like your friend did in the league. Like, I just can't do that.
So
anyway,
you at least get
on a lot of time.
Well, you got a good perspective on both ends. We both feel strongly about each side and how we feel and why. So at least
why you come to get
right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're not just yes guys over here.
Oh,
I'm going to tell you guys how we really feel.
Yeah. For sure.
Awesome. All right, so let's roll on here. Let's keep it going.
So we got the Bucks going again, who are 4-6, going to Indianapolis to visit the Colts, who are 5-5. Indianapolis is 2.5-point favorites in this particular matchup. Over under is 44.5. Like I said before, the Buccaneers are going to be without Levante David. They will also be without Jamal Dean. Devin White is listed as questionable and only had 1 limited practice this week, so very questionable. Colts are coming out of the bye. Now, they are healthy. They don't really have anybody that is, crazy. The only big news that came out for the Colts, they let go of Shaq Leonard. Holy but Jesus. He cleared waivers and right now is getting.
That's the crazier part. Not the fact that how come no one
he cleared it? Well, because his contract had 3 years left and it was killer. Like, it was a killer contract. So he got through waivers and now
the Colts have to pay him and then they can just re-sign him and whatever they sign him for, then the Colts just pay the difference.
Well, they
or
pay
whatever, right?
Yeah, they pay their dead money.
I don't know how that front office stuff works.
It's so weird.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah,
They paid the dead cap hit, and like that's his guarantee because they have to pay him the
right.
guaranteed. But at the end of the day, they released him. All this other stuff, whatever. He's being pursued by the Cowboys and the Eagles. I think are the two teams that are looking.
We've already spent too much time on a
too
defensive guy. Go
Who
ahead.
cares? But it's Shaq Leonard. But he definitely
Yeah,
he's
he's
lost
worth
a step and a half. Like the guy, he's not what he used to be.
Killing me
had
on
too
my
many
Dynasty
injuries.
IDP.
Yeah, exactly.
Pull him out of my lineup. Yeah.
We have to get Martin in. But at this point, Buccaneers, you got a lot of guys. So this matchup is actually not horrible. So let's go with Baker Mayfield or Gardner Minshew.
If I had the two, probably gonna go Baker.
Okay. That's not a horrible pick. Right now, Rachaad White or Jonathan Taylor. Both have been pretty good lately.
Screw Rachaad White for wrecking Hufunga's knee. God, that was nasty. Who'd you say? Sorry, when you said Rachaad White, that was the first thing that came into my head.
JT and Rachaad.
Oh, JT. But
Okay.
shout out to Rachaad White, man.
Mike Evans or Michael Pittman.
Evans.
Okay. Josh Downs or Godwin.
Downs.
Okay. And tight ends we don't really care about for this particular group. It's going to be Cade Notton. Well, yeah, it's going to be Cade Notton. I'm going to go Cade Notton over any of the Colts, tight ends. And I love Mo Alley Cox. Just as a, I just like the concept.
Jelani Woods hasn't even played a game this year.
Woods hasn't played.
Or what is that what I said? Did I say Jelani Woods?
Yeah, Jelani Woods.
I said a different name.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
and
he just
that other guy, Gardner.
Sucks, man. My just killed I had him on a lot of underdog teams.
Oh, tough. Me too. I had Mo Alley in a bunch too. So I don't know. I thought why not? But either way, those are some of the guys that we're thinking about. Let's go Rachaad White, or let's get a couple of guys that we can think about. Rachaad White or Joe Mixon.
In full PPR, I'll go White, and half for standard, I'd probably go Mixon.
Okay.
But maybe just roll with. Yeah, I don't think I can get away from Mixon. I want to see a game with him and Browning because I think they'll try to really establish the run to make it a little easier on Browning.
White or Ramondre Stevenson?
White. I'll go White there.
White or Swift?
Swift.
Henry or White?
Oh man, you're gonna put Henry with baby Henry like that?
Yeah.
I'll go Henry in this matchup against the Panthers.
Okay.
You kind of sold me on that idea.
What about Barkley versus White?
Can you really get away from Barkley right now? I mean, I know he played the Commanders last week, but
he's going against the Pats. Pats play well against the Giants just because Belichick tends to do well against rookie quarterbacks.
I'll take my chances with White.
I picked New England in a bunch of DST, for a lot of DST picks.
Yeah, I think I'll go White.
Okay. What about White or Bijan?
Bijan. I'm not getting that crazy.
Okay. White or Pacheco?
Pacheco.
Okay. Yeah, that's about where he is. So I figured.
But a lot of these with White, like full PPR, that's why I'm kind of really the only one that was really a question is Barkley. If it's full PPR, my answer is pretty much almost White with a lot of those guys.
Yeah,
half or standard is where it gets. Yeah, is where it's very dependent on his passing his sketches. So
yeah, and it's hard to compare to JT just because JT is on a tier higher than all of them. So you know having that JT or yeah,
it's going to be JT.
Yeah, it's going to be JT 9 times out of 10. So I mean, in this game, those are the guys you're playing. Baker, like we said, we could go either way with him. He's at the bottom tier of tight end 1, so you can play him in some situations, but it's the matchup. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about Baker right now. I think he's been doing well considering. But do you want Baker or Stafford?
Probably Baker.
Baker or Carr?
Carr.
What about Trevor Lawrence or Baker?
Trevor.
Josh Dobbs or Mayfield?
Ooh.
There we go.
Ooh. Give me Dobbs. I'd like it more if he had JJ back, but I'll take my chances with Dobbs. Get a little rushing upside in there too.
Kyle Murray or Baker Mayfield. Murray going against the Rams.
Baker. I don't want anything to do with Arizona, guys.
I don't either.
It's probably the wrong choice.
It was, but
yeah.
he ranked higher. And I saw it as an opportunity.
No, that was good.
I was going to give you
my
Herbert.
Loyalties there.
I was going to give you Herbert because Herbert's just a clear Herbert. Like I know how you feel about a lot of these guys, so I try to go above and below where you would be.
There you go.
All right, I like it. All right, let's move on to the one game that I don't really care about, and that's the this is for the number one overall pick, the Patriots versus the Giants.
This is for the Caleb.
Patriots are
this is for Caleb.
Yeah, this is for Caleb. This is the 2-8 Pats versus the Giants, who are 3-8. Coming off a good win against the Commanders, which was fun. But New England is favored by 3.5. 3.5 freaking road favorites. Jesus. 34 point.
Even when you guys win, you lost.
Even when we lose. Yeah, exactly.
Even when you win, you lost.
Over under is 34 points. Patriots list Devontae Parker as questionable. Trent Brown is also listed as questionable. Those are the only two guys that really matter on the Patriots that you should be worried about. Giants list Evan Neal, their right tackle, as out. Thank God, he needs to be out. Dexter Lawrence and Darius Slayton are both listed as doubtful. That is concerning to me. I didn't know that, and I have the Giants in a lot of places. Dexter Lawrence is definitely one of the key players for that in that particular offense or defense that tend to do well, and why other guys do well. So in this particular matchup, no one really likes these guys. We have no idea what's going to go on with Mac Jones. The only guy that we can even trust, the only two guys that you can even trust are Ramondre Stevenson and Barkley. So we're just going to leave those guys out of this equation because those are the only two guys that we can even think about. There are people that are in these particular scenarios that have Tommy DeVito or Mac Jones / Bailey Zappi. So are you playing Tommy DeVito or Mac Jones?
No.
Okay. If you had to choose between the two, who are you playing?
No.
It's a fair point. Fair point.
Yeah.
But let's put the gun to your head again. Who are you playing? Tommy DeVito, Mac Jones. You have to pick one.
Probably Mac Jones, I guess.
Justin
I'll take the Patriots quarterback. I'll take the Patriot quarterbacks on this one.
Patriot quarterback. Fair. Pop Douglas or who's going to be the leading receiver for the Giants? I can't.
Your guess is as good as mine.
I can't think of it. So I'm going to.
Yeah, with Slayton out, there's no chance. Let's go Douglas on that one.
I mean, I could go Hodges.
Nah, Hodgins. I spent 2/3 on Hodgins, and I feel like an idiot.
I do too. I
honestly thought he was going to be a thing. Yeah, he had such a good year last year. I don't get it.
I don't get it either. And then Bellinger.
Come on, Dable.
Yeah, and then it's Hunter Henry and Bellinger. You're going
Henry, but either way, I'm probably
you're going Henry, but you don't like it. Other than that, like I said, Stevenson or Barkley are the only two guys that you really care about. I don't think there's anyone else in this matchup that you really even trust. So we're gonna just
move it on. Bad game. Hopefully there's another. Hopefully you don't have to watch one of these as your local game.
I do, but that's why we have the Red Zone channel. Yeah.
Let's go.
Anyway, so we got the Panthers who are 1-9 going to the Titans who are 3-8. All these crappy games. Anyway,
I showed 3-7. Are they 3-8 or 3-7?
I have 3-7 based on what I got.
Okay.
I could be wrong.
You said 3-8.
Did I say 3-8? I meant 3-7.
Okay.
My bad.
We're on a roll. We're 2 hours in.
Yeah, I know. Jeez, we haven't had one of these in a while. Tennessee is favored by 3.5. Over under is 36.5. Treylon Burks is out for the Titans for this one. The Panthers are going to be without Hayden Hurst, Jeremy Chin, and Gross Matos. They will also be without CJ Henderson and JC Horn, which is kind of a huge hit to their secondary. They're actually one of the better teams against the pass or against the wide receiver. I think they're number 3. Let me see. They're number 4 or 5. against
Not
the
going to be
pass.
with those guys out.
Well, that was where I was going with that. It's usually because of their pass rush. They actually, Brian Burns and company tend to do very well with getting to the quarterback in general. So in this particular matchup, these are a little bit more fun to play with. Are you starting Bryce Young or Will Levis?
Levis.
Okay, fair. Both are, this is going to be more of a passing game. I actually think that it might hit the over on this one. I think it's going to be a lot of passing involved and a lot of high scoring. Okay, so Hopkins or Thielen?
Hopkins. But I've never been on
Full
board with
PPR.
Thielen, but I know Panther, like ever since what's his face took over play calling again, like Thielen
Right. Yeah.
came back. Yeah, ever since Reich took it over again, Thielen's been a thing. So I can't go against it, but I'm not sitting
Full
D-Hop
PPR.
for
Who you
Thielen.
going?
Yeah, I'm still going Hopkins.
Okay, I like Thielen. Running backs. I mean, you're not comparing.
I'm just never in that
Henry.
situation because I don't
know.
have Thielen anywhere, so
I
I'm
have
never
Thielen everywhere.
ever making that. Yeah, I'm never ever making that decision.
I have him everywhere.
And I have Hopkins everywhere, so that's why it's a little biased. Just full disclosure.
That's fine. In this case, I'm not going to compare Derrick Henry to any of the running backs for the Panthers. It's just not worth it. You're playing Henry. But I can compare him to Tajay Spears. So Tajay Spears or Chuba Hubbard?
Chuba.
Okay. What about Spears or Jonathan Mingo?
Probably Spears.
Okay. Now, I don't want to compare tight ends in this one either because Chig has actually been doing okay lately.
Yeah.
Tommy Tremble has slowly been coming out of his shell lately, which is nice to see. He's nothing special. He's definitely in tight end 2 territory. He's not really anybody that you would normally start. But people have injuries. People have certain other things going on. Chig or Tommy Tremble?
Chig.
Okay. It makes the most sense. Wide receiver 2 for the Titans. It's going to be, who is it? Nick Westbrook-Akine.
Oh, okay. I was going to go either him or Phillips.
No, it's definitely Westbrook-Akine. So Westbrook-Akine or Terrace Marshall?
Westbrook.
Fair. Westbrook or... Let's find another guy to compare him to because I love Nick Westbrook.
Make sure you go low on that list because he's coming off a one catch 7-yard game, a 1 catch 9-yard game, a 1 catch 23-yard game, and a 1 catch 33-yard game. So
okay,
we're really scraping the bottom of the barrel here.
Let's look at the other games where he had like 6 to 7 catches and a touchdown. Anyway,
where he went 5 for 6 for 51 and a touchdown in Week 4 against Cincinnati.
Yes,
yeah,
thank you. And I called that game.
Yeah, it was the one game. Yeah, and then he's done nothing ever since. So.
All right. Anyway,
he literally has 5 catches since then.
Nick Westbrook-Akine or Wan'Dale Robinson. There we go. Found it.
God, I would just fold it in and call it a year. If I'm
I got another one. I got a good one here.
Who? Rondale Moore. That's what I thought you were going to say.
Oh,
I was
no,
like, don't do that to me.
I was going to go Nick Westbrook-Akine or Rashad Bateman.
Oh, Bateman. Give me Bateman. I'm taking my chances with Bateman there. With no Mark Andrews. Yeah. Well, give me a chance over there.
I figured I'd give you
a sort of touchdown there last week. Yeah.
Yeah, he did. I had the fun trying to figure out what to do with Kupp because if Kupp doesn't play, I have Bateman as the only other option to cover. So I was like,
not bad. Of all the times, it would have been semi-decent because at least Andrews isn't there.
Yeah. So let's move on to the Rams, who are 4-6. They are going to visit the Cardinals in Arizona, who are 2-9. The Rams are 2.5-point favorites. The over-under is 45 points. As I said before, Michael Wilson is listed as out. They list Hollywood Brown as questionable, but remember, he was limited Wednesday and then did not practice Thursday or Friday. That's never a good sign when they downgrade in that particular order. So just be aware, This is a 4:00 game. There is a good chance he does not play. I haven't heard any word about expected or not expected to play. I would have somebody as a pivot. Then we have the Rams, who have Cooper Kupp. They said he's going to play. He practiced in full, so he should be good to go. We were just talking about it a minute ago. So I hope that everything is good with Kupp in that particular sense. We've already kind of talked about this. We're not really good at comparing guys, on the Cardinals because Anthony just hates everybody on the Cardinals. So I will use one comparison. James Conner or Kerwin Williams.
I'll take Williams.
Okay. I would go Murray and Stafford, but I think you're a little bit higher on – well, you're not high on Stafford.
It's going to be Stafford. He has Puka and Kupp and Atwell versus you just listed all the receivers that Kyler doesn't have. So why would I take that quarterback?
Okay, fair enough. Well, hey.
I'm just saying.
Kyler's
I'm
ranked higher. Just saying.
Not by me. Not by me.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I haven't changed
Maybe to some other people.
I haven't changed my rankings yet.
Okay. Go ahead and move him down.
Yeah, tight ends wise,
he could have some rushing. He is getting a little more warmed up, and he has actually looked a lot better running. Like, remember, that was my whole thing is he has to be able to show to protect himself. So he has actually ran pretty well, and he had that rushing touchdown last week. So he has looked a little more decent, but yeah, not with.
We're not gonna compare tight ends because you're playing Trey McBride over Higbee, and that's just.
He's the one guy. Yeah, he's the one guy I would play.
Yeah. McBride or Otten? McBride or Schultz?
Schultz. But closer.
Ingram?
I think I'm ahead on McBride on that one.
Okay. No, that's a fair, that's around the line.
Especially with none of those other guys. He should see 10 targets. Maybe he can get 100 yards again.
Fairmuth or McBride?
Ooh, I'll take McBride.
Okay. No, that's fair. That's about where I'd have him too. So
yeah, I think
let's move.
McBride probably is my tight end. I could probably only name 4 or 5 tight ends that I would probably start over McBride.
Okay, fair enough. So let's move on to the Browns, who are 7-3. Going to Denver to face the Broncos, who are 5-5. Denver's been on a little bit of a hot streak, which is nice. Denver is 1.5-point favorites. Over under is 36 points. No one crazy out in this game. There's nothing real crazy going on with these two, which is fantastic. Good
besides Watson.
Well, we already knew Watson was out, though.
Yeah,
so
I'm just saying
throw that in there. We all know.
But that's why the 7-3 team is a 1.5-point dog to the 5-5 team.
That's fair.
It's just crazy to see.
But in this case, we got a couple of guys we can pick from. So what about Amari Cooper or Courtland Sutton?
Damn, that's close.
That's a close one for me too. But I'm going Sutton.
I think I'd have to go Cooper, but that's also a little biased because I have several Cooper shares, so I want Cooper to be better, but he hasn't been doing great with DTR.
QB, yeah.
It's just, Browns are a tough defense, but I still think I have to go Sutton there, man.
Russell Wilson or Matthew Stafford?
I think I'll go Russ because I think he has a better chance at 2 touchdowns over Stafford.
Okay. Russell Wilson or Kyler Murray?
Russ.
Okay. Fair enough. Running backs wise, we have Javonte Williams and Jerome Ford. Which one are you going with?
Ford.
Ford over Williams? I can see that. What about Williams or James Conner?
I think I'd probably go Conner.
Okay.
Even in that 50-50 timeshare, just Javonte scares me. Not getting that passing game work and going up against this nasty rushing defense.
Ford. No, I get it. I completely get it. Ford or Kerwin Williams?
Ford.
Ford over Williams?
Yeah, I think I'd go Ford over Williams.
Okay, fair enough. Tight ends. Well, Njoku, you're going to pick more than most. I would say he's in your top 4 or 5 of tight ends at this point. Honestly, he is for me as well. So it's hard to not go with Njoku. He's definitely been involved a lot more as of late. And none of the tight ends on the Broncos I really care about. Troutman is not the guy, unfortunately, and I love Troutman as a person. Other than that, Njoku or McBride.
That's close. I think I have them like back to back, but I think I have Njoku just ahead.
Njoku or Schultz?
Njoku.
Okay, that's fair. I think that's
That
about
connection
where
with
the line
him
is.
and Robert DTR is there.
Okay, fair enough. And honestly, there's not much else. Jerry Jeudy is hard to choose in this. I mean, he's involved, but not as much as you would want him to be.
Yeah.
Compared to some other guys, I mean, would you go Jerry Jeudy to Tutu Atwell?
I go Jeudy there. That's a little far. I think it gets tough when you start talking about guys like Rashid Shaheed.
Well, I was gonna go Rondell Moore as my next one.
That's.
I know. Who's another guy? No, you can't even compare him to that. Can't go to that. Alec Pierce or Juju?
Yeah, Jeudy there.
Yeah, Judy. Or sorry, I said Juju. Why did I say Juju?
I knew who you meant.
You knew what I meant. Can't even go in. Yeah, all these other guys are way too high. Yeah, Shaheed might be the love. That.
Like, what about
tier.
Jeudy or London?
London.
Really?
I trust London more than Judy.
I guess so. Yeah. What
you
about
gotta
like
take
Tyler
the number
Boyd
one?
or
I'd rather take
Jeudy
the
or
one.
Boyd? Jeudy or Boyd?
Boyd.
Okay.
Boyd is
Pickens?
just more consistent.
Pickens
Ew. Pickens
or Jeudy?
Yeah, I'm going Pickens, and I don't like it.
And what about Gabe Davis or Jeudy?
Ooh, Gabe Davis, better upside.
Just for that potential upside.
Yeah, he has too much. See, that's his problem, though.
Yeah. What about Justin Watson or Jeudy?
Justin Watson?
Yeah, with Kansas City.
That's
Isn't
a better
that his name?
comparison. Yeah. No, you're right.
Coming off those 9 targets. Or maybe someone like
I would go Jeudy here.
And what about Josh Palmer or Jerry Jeudy?
Healthy Josh Palmer?
Yeah, if Palmer plays this week.
I'd say
Palmer. And or QJ.
I'd say no, I'm not playing QJ.
They're going against Baltimore.
I would go Josh Palmer. I don't care.
Okay. What about Powell or Jeudy with the Vikings?
Brandon Powell?
Yeah. Like, are we that low on Jeudy right now?
I'm very low on Jeudy.
Because they get the Bears. So
I'm
trying to find some comparisons there.
No, I'm gonna go Powell. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that just kind of shows where Jeudy is, unfortunately.
Yeah.
All right. You ready to move on this one?
Oh, I'm ready to move on. This is actually a good one for me. I like this one. So Chiefs are 7-3 going to visit the Raiders in the desert. We got 7. They're 5-6 going against Kansas City, who is the 9-point favorite in this game. This is a division showdown, which is crazy to think that they are 9-point favorites away. The over-under is 43 points. Max Crosby hasn't practiced all week with a knee injury. He's listed as doubtful. That's a huge hit to the Raiders' defense. Chiefs only are going to be without Mecole Hardman and Jerick McKinnon, so that's a big boost for Pacheco. So let's do some thinking here. Pacheco or Jacobs?
Damn.
Yeah, this one's tough.
I'll go Pacheco.
I'm going to go Jacobs, and it's the volume. I understand. I understand what you're going to tell me. You're going to tell me all the narrative and the over under and the everything is pointing the Chiefs' way. So why would you go with the guy that's on the opposite end of it? Because they're going to involve him in the passing game a little more, because it's a lot of dump downs that you're going to see with Aiden O'Connell.
Hope so. We haven't seen it happen though.
Yes, you have. There was a game where he had 8. He did. He had 7 targets and 7 catches in that one game.
That was with Josh McDaniels though. Not with Antonio Pierce, man. That's the thing.
But they run the ball with Antonio Pierce at the helm.
Right. But that's not putting up a lot of points against this Kansas City defense we just saw Kansas City shut down the Eagles defense or rushing game with the best line.
Did they?
Not shut them down.
Did
Swift still did
they?
decent
Swift
compared
had
to
a
what
day.
they usually could do. I'm just saying, but
I
that
get it.
it's not the same offensive line, and it's
And
not
it's a
the same
different
quarterback
runner.
that you
I
have
get
to
it.
respect. It's not the same 2 wide receivers on the outside that you got to respect. Granted, Adams is out there. I'm just saying it's a little tougher.
I get
And
it.
he's not playing any third downs. He's not playing any third downs. Josh Jacobs.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough.
Not since this new Antonio Pierce regime.
Okay.
Now
Now
look at the advanced stats.
the advanced stats, huh? So my advanced stats go to a question that is, I'm not going to compare Devontae Adams to Rashid Rice. That's just stupid. Trying to guess who's going to be what, or the same thing with Travis Kelce or Michael Mayer. I mean, that's just dumb. So we're not even going to try to compare those 2 guys. It's just stupid. Could we say Adams or Chase? We already did that one, but at the same time, I don't know, Chase or Adams or Nico Collins.
Still going with Adams.
Okay. Let's go. We already kind of know Adams is there, but they also have Jacoby Myers. Myers has been somewhat involved a little bit more lately. Would you go Jacoby Myers or Deontay Johnson?
Myers.
Myers or Devontae Smith?
Devontae.
Myers or I'm trying to think of another guy that I have because I have Myers everywhere. So I'm trying to figure out who I would do. Myers or Chris Godwin.
That's a good one. That's about where they're at.
Okay. Yeah, I was trying to find a guy that would work.
I think I'd actually lean Godwin there a little bit.
Okay. What
Just
about
in
Myers?
case with
What about
Baker.
Myers or Judy? Or is that too high?
No, that's about right.
Okay.
I think I'd go Judy there, maybe.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Just because with Russ, I mean, I know it's a little bit tougher matchup, but
you would play Myers over Deontay?
yeah. But you know my thoughts on Deontay right now. It's not in regards to Deontay. It's in regards to Pickett. He can't throw him the ball. Like Deontay creates separation. That's what I love about him.
Yeah.
He's runs some of the best routes, but Pickett can't hit him. So it doesn't matter how open you are. You know, going back to our whole conversation with Browning and Chase, like Chase will be open. Pickett, like if Jamar Chase was on the Steelers with Pickett, then I'd be like, yeah, no, I'm sitting Chase.
Okay.
I wouldn't have that whole argument that you had, but
what about Njoku or Myers? And I know you hate flexing tight end.
Yeah, it's weird on a flex tight end there, but maybe I'd go Myers on that.
Khalil Herbert or Myers?
No, I'd probably go Njoku actually, because I think he'll see more targets.
What about Khalil Herbert or Myers?
I'll go Herbert there, especially with Foreman a little banged up.
Yeah, I mean, my situation that I currently have. I have it where Myers, Deontay Johnson, or Khalil Herbert. Those are my 3 that I have to pick from. I currently have DJ in. I have a little more faith in that particular offense or in that particular change that they're going to have to get him more involved. I think that's what they've been lacking. They tend to just dump off to the running back instead of just trying to push the ball a little bit more downfield to, move the offense forward. Pickens is not horrible either, but he's more of a contested catch guy. And as you said, Deontay Johnson is getting open. It's just trying to get everybody on the same page and making them aware. So I'm hoping for like a 12 target, 6 catch game where he can at least do okay. But I haven't seen that from the Raiders with Myers, unfortunately, even though Myers was killing it in the first half of the season.
With Jimmy G.
Yeah, which is sad because I thought I had a diamond in the rough with Myers.
Yeah.
So.
He's only had 7 targets in the last 2 games.
Yeah.
And then
so it's hard.
12 in the last 3. But with
Deontay
Pierce,
or
7.
Myers?
Myers.
Yeah. So both are hard to trust because they've had both around the same amount of targets in the last 2 games.
Right.
So,
I
I'm
just
gonna
expect
still
this game to be a little more higher scoring, or at least the Raiders should be chasing, so
yeah,
should
but
create a
Crosby.
pass funnel.
Yeah, they're definitely going to be passing a lot because Crosby being out. So
Yeah,
let's move on. Nope, wrong one. Let's
yeah.
go to
See,
Bills.
Deontay had eight targets and only 2 catches for 16 yards. Like that's
Yeah.
the problem.
Yeah.
4 targets, 1 catch for 17 yards.
I don't
That's
know
what you
what to
got to worry
do.
about.
This is going to be a tough one. That's going to be a
That's
tough
tough.
decision last minute. But I'm probably going to
tough.
stay with DJ just because I'm going to stick to my guns on DJ.
Roll with your guy.
I have to. And I'm probably going to get burnt. It's okay. Bills versus the Eagles. Bills are 6-5 going against the Eagles, who are 9-1, coming off a big Monday night game against the Chiefs. Currently, they are favored by 3. The over/under is 48.5. They are the highest game on this particular slate. They had Brown, Smith, and Swift all on the injury report as of today. They're all off it. They're both all going to play, so everybody's good to go in this particular matchup. Burrow still nursing a right shoulder injury, not Burrow, Josh Allen. Yeah, my bad. Allen is nursing a right shoulder injury. He should be fine, but you can tell it's been hampering him as of late. Josh Allen or Jalen Hurts? Who are you playing?
Hurts.
Okay. Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson?
See, Lamar can have just like a 17-point game because Gus scores 2 touchdowns, or he could get the rushing touchdowns along with the passing touchdown and go off. I'll take Josh Allen in that case.
All right. Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes?
Mahomes.
Josh Allen or CJ Stroud?
Allen.
Allen or Fields?
Allen.
Yeah, and I think we can pretty much guess the rest of the way. Hurts is already the top, so there's really no point in going after him. Swift or James Cook? And I think it's clear it's Swift.
Yeah, that's Swift.
Yeah, but let's compare James
Cook's last game was encouraging, but I don't know what to take.
What about Cook or Connors?
I'll go Cook there.
Cook or Javonte Williams?
Man, they're really
That
testing me,
one
huh? Cook.
Yeah.
And what sucks though is both those are bad matchups, and Cook doesn't get used in the passing game, which is the terrible part about it.
Agreed.
If they'll use him in the passing game, it would be good.
Well,
But
change
yeah,
it OC. Change it OC. No more Ken Dorsey. This is the first week without Ken Dorsey.
And he did see 4 targets, 3 catches for 29 yards and a touchdown. James Cook did last week. So maybe, and that was against the Jets, who had a tough rushing defense. So, also had 17 for 73, but yeah.
Kerwin Williams or James Cook?
I'll go Cook there as well, too.
Rashid Weiss or James Cook?
I think I'll go White. I have a team with both of those guys on there. I'm starting both of them.
Okay. Joe Mixon or James White? Or sorry, James Cook. Jesus
I was like,
Christ.
James White.
Yeah. He came back. No.
Yeah, I was going to say, who's that? Mixon. There.
Mixon.
I'll go Mixon against Pittsburgh in the rain.
Bijan or James Cook?
Bijan. Okay. We're not getting
yeah, I won't go James Cook or Josh Jacobs. That would be silly. For the wide receivers, we do have 2 really good wide receivers with Stephon Diggs and AJ Brown. So play both.
Firing them up.
But
yeah, you're firing them up.
I can't tell you to play one or the other. If you had to pick one, which one are you picking? I'm going to go AJ Brown.
I was going to say Arthur one.
Yeah.
Just because the Bills' secondary is all banged up.
And comparing the 2 wide receivers on the number 2s, I can't. Devontae Smith is clear over Gabe Davis. Devontae Smith.
Now, Shakir. Excuse me, Shakir might be a different story though.
Okay.
As long as Knox is still out.
What about Shakir or Judy?
I might go Shakir.
Okay. Shakir or Elijah Moore?
Shakir for sure.
Shakir or Rondell Moore?
Shakir.
Shakir or Tutu Atwell?
Shakir.
Shakir or Nick Westbrook-Akine?
Shakir. Give it to me.
Shakir or
I like Shakir if you can't tell.
Hold on. No, I know. That's why I'm going to find it. Shakir or Pop Douglas?
I might go Douglas there.
Okay. Shakir or Alex
It's your
Pierce?
Giants. Shakir for sure there.
Shakir or Robert Woods?
Shakir.
Shakir or Allen Robinson?
Shakir.
Shakir or Rashid Shaheed?
I might go with Shaheed there just because of no Mike Thomas.
Okay. What about Van Jefferson or Rashid or Shaheed? Or not Shaheed, Shakir. My bad.
Shakir.
Okay. Fair enough.
I like Shakir.
Yeah. Tight ends, you're not going to compare in these two, but we do know Dalton Kincaid. A couple other people could have some other types of scenarios, but Kincaid or Njoku?
That's tough, man.
That's a tough one.
I have to go Kincaid. Attached to
Okay.
Josh Allen.
Okay. So Kincaid or McBride?
Still think I have Kincaid ahead.
Okay. Kincaid or Schultz?
Kincaid.
Kincaid or Ingram?
Kincaid.
Okay. So it looks like you have Kincaid a lot
And there's
higher.
no Knox, right? Kincaid's
No
like
Knox
my
right
tight
at the
end
moment.
4.
Yeah.
I was like without Knox, he's
I had
like my tight end like 4.
Yeah, I had Laporta pretty high. So
Yeah.
it's hard for me to kind of pick where I have Kincaid at 4 as well. So just over McBride. So okay.
Yeah.
Not bad. Not bad. I like it. And then that's pretty much all the guys that we would play. You're pretty much loading everybody up except for a couple like Gabe Davis. I think it's hard in this case to play him in that situation. It's going to be a little bit of a bad weather game. Be aware of that as well. So we might see a little bit more running in this game, but we'll wait and see. We got the Ravens, who are 8-3, going out west to visit the Chargers at 4-6. Baltimore is favored by 3.5 points. The over/under is 48 points. This is the Sunday night football game. We got Jalen Guyton and Gerald Everett. They're going to both be questionable for this particular matchup. Zay Flowers is also questionable, but should be good to go. Same with Odell Beckham Jr. He looks good to go and looks like they're going to both play. Beckham has come out lately and done pretty well in the last few games. Would you play Beckham or Josh Palmer?
Oh man. Probably Beckham.
Okay. What about Beckham or Shakir?
Shakir.
Would you play Beckham or Jerry Jeudy?
Probably Beckham.
Beckham or Rondell
Well, no
Moore?
Andrews. Beckham.
Okay. Yeah, there's not really much else you can compare to him. Zay Flowers is more of a lock anyway. How comfortable are you with Isaiah Likely?
He's like mid to low tight end too. Like maybe so 13, 14, 15.
He's not someone you're playing this week, are you?
Nah, not really.
Okay. And going
my tight end spots has pretty much been set.
No, understood. But I'm
since
saying
I've been streaming, so yeah.
You lost. Let's just say you lose Andrews and you picked up Isaiah Likely. Are you playing him this week, or are you going to try to find somebody else that's worth picking up?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there was really, from doing the waiver wire show, there's really no other tight ends to really pick up this week.
Mm-hmm.
But I would have played someone like Conklin. Again, it's hard because what about four teams have played already?
Or
I take my chances with Otten.
Okay, what about Gerald Everett?
If he's healthy, I'd probably play Everett over him.
Hunter Henry?
Maybe I'd take my chances with Likely over Henry.
Chig. Okonkwo.
Okonkwo. I'll play Chig there.
Jonnu Smith.
I think I'd take my chances with Smith there.
Tanner Hudson. I'll go even that low.
Nah, I'll go likely there.
Okay. All right, that's fair. I mean, the running backs are clear. I mean, we have Eckler, who I know that we've said in the beginning, to pass up on over, a Derrick Henry, but you're playing Eckler in 99% of the time.
You're pretty much playing Gus at this point too.
I was going to say Gus is pretty much a start. Is Keaton Mitchell? I know you've mentioned it before in the beginning. Keaton Mitchell being that type of like boomer bust guy, it's kind of not worth playing. But Chargers going against the running back. I mean, they did just lose Joey Bosa for the year, and Chargers are 25th against the run. So for me, are you playing somebody like Keaton Mitchell in this matchup, or a guy like Javonte Williams in a bad matchup?
I'd play Williams, I think. So you're going to get at least 12 touches out of Williams. You just hope he gets in the end zone. Whereas Keaton, he'll probably get 3 or 4 carries, maybe. The problem is he needs to work on his pass protection, which is why he can't be in. Like, you saw him miss the big pass protection. They just unloaded $200+ million to Lamar. They got to keep him healthy. You can't pass protect, you won't find yourself on the field as a running back for an extended period of time.
Chuba or Keaton Mitchell.
If you just need like a home run play, that's where I'd go Keaton. But if you're looking for some floor, then I'd go Chuba. In that 50-50
What about
split
Tajay Spears?
PPR, I'd probably go Spears just in case.
Okay.
He could still see 3 or 4 catches. Again, otherwise, if you just need kind of maybe like a home run hitter, a guy who can score off of 4, like a Devon Achane light, like super light, then you could go Mitchell. He's hard to rank.
I know that I'm trying to find a guy, Jalen Warren or Keaton
Warren
Mitchell.
for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, Warren for sure.
All right. So we kind of found that area. The quarterbacks are hard to gauge. I mean, it's your pick your choice.
Top 7, both of them. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's one of those like you're not really picking anybody else but these two. So those two are the only guys. Tight ends wise, Everett and or Likely. We kind of already said Everett or Likely.
Slash Parham.
Well, yeah, and you can throw Parham in there, which he's also a boomer bust guy where you can't really tell. He could go for 3 touchdowns and 10 yards, or or he could go for nothing. Like I had him go for nothing in my Scotty Fishbowl league. So those guys are tough to gauge. Wide receivers are clear at this point for the Chargers. We already know Keenan Allen you're playing, Zay Flowers you're playing. So this game is pretty clear. So we won't spend too much more time on this. Let's go over to the Monday night football game. We're going to finish it out. Bears 3-8 versus the Vikings, who are 6-5 with Joshua Dobbs at the helm. Minnesota is favored by 3 points. Over-under is 43. Vikings, I'm going to read what I have, but I'm going to make it very clear. Justin Jefferson has been limited all week. He looks like he won't be activated this week. My assumption is that they will wait until the bye week and bring him back. They haven't said this. They haven't done anything. This is all kind of my thought process. So this is just them being safe with their superstar receiver. I think they wait. That's just me. So I don't expect him to play in this game. I haven't heard anything against the contrary. If you do, I'm sorry in advance, but I'm pretty sure he doesn't play in this game. There's no point in bringing him out Monday night. And I understand it's a division game. There's just no point. Bears have Devontae Foreman. He is limited and has been limited all week. He is questionable to play. Looks like he will play from what I can tell. But he's going to be banged up. So this game is a little bit different. Justin Fields or Joshua Dobbs. Who would you play?
Fields.
Okay. Joshua Dobbs or Baker?
Take my chances with Dobbs there.
Okay. Dobbs or Oh, that's stupid. I was going to say Aiden O'Connell, but that's kind of dumb. Dobbs or Russ?
Dobbs.
Okay. All right. Yeah, it's hard not to play Dobbs. Fields, we could kind of have an argument with Fields or Justin Herbert. That would be a fun one. Let's try that one.
Herbert.
Okay. Lamar or Justin Fields? Lamar. So, running backs wise, Khalil Herbert or Alexander Madison. That's actually not a bad one.
Herbert.
What about?
I could see Madison just with the matchup too. So,
okay, fair enough. Madison or James Cook?
I think I might go. That's a tough one. I'll go maybe Madison on that one with the matchup.
Madison or Javonte Williams?
Madison.
Okay. Khalil Herbert or Williams?
Herbert.
Okay. Wide receivers wise for this particular game, I mean, there's DJ Moore. There's
Start.
Yeah, you're starting him. You're starting Jordan Addison as well. Jordan Addison or Devontae Smith?
That is a good one.
Thought I'd find.
I think I'd go Addison there. Just a little more guaranteed work as the number one right now.
Okay.
But like I could if Smith outscores him, I could see that easily. It's not like I'd be shocked, but
okay.
Yeah.
What about Jacoby Myers or KJ Osborne?
Probably go Myers there.
Okay.
Although I do like KJ's kind of targets with Dobbs so far have been nice, but I think I'd go Myers there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of anybody else.
Those are close.
Right? I thought it was close enough that it would make it a little more difficult for you. Rashid Rice or Addison?
Addison. It's like my two favorite players. I had to trade both those guys for a haul in Dynasty, which hurt me, but
yeah, it was worth it.
Like I like Cup, Evans. I got like a ton of guys in that trade.
Thielen or Addison? Yeah. Thielen or Addison?
Addison for me on that.
Okay. I'm more Thielen. Tight ends wise, you got TJ Hawkinson and Cole Kmet. I think it's clear that you're going with Hawkinson.
He's a no-brainer. Yeah. He's like tight end.
Kmet is still being somewhat viable. Would you go Cole Kmet?
Have him like top 10.
Njoku.
Njoku.
Kmet or Ingram?
A little closer, but I think I'd go. I would say coming back, I think I'd go Kmet there. I think he's the clear 2 behind DJ Moore.
Kmet
in the passing
or
game.
Schultz? Okay. Kmet or McBride?
McBride.
Okay. Yeah. Kmet or Taysom Hill?
Kmet.
Okay. So, yeah, I mean, Kmet he's been doing a lot better as of late. I like him a lot. Hawkinson is just in his own tier with guys like Kelsey. And he's banged up. This guy takes haymaker after haymaker and is still coming up. So, I really enjoy watching TJ Hawkinson lately. One of my favorite tight ends to watch, outside of Kittle and a few others and Laporta. But definitely, well, they're all Iowa State or Iowa guys. So they're, that's
something going on over there in Iowa. Yeah.
Oh man, they're
tight end university.
Hell yeah. So, I mean, that's really it. I mean, I can't really think of anybody
else we made it.
Compared to. We made it to the end. Oh, yeah, because they don't have a second receiver for the Bears. I mean, Darnell Mooney. Yeah. Oh, Darnell Mooney or Nick Westbrook-Akine.
Neither. Pack it in and call it a season if you're making those kind of choices. You're not going to win. Just put it that way. If those are your choices when there's nobody on a bye week, then you're not winning this year. I'm sorry.
Well, why don't you finish us out for the night there, my friend?
Let's do it, man. So yeah. So again, appreciate everybody coming out here. Make sure you guys again are subscribed to the channel here. Hit that like button, as well as supporting our affiliate channels. We have the Fantasy Frontline podcast with Tim and AJ. We have the Check It Out podcast with Cody McGoat, Shirtless Pat, Greg, and the fellows over there. Soon to come, the Dead Zone Fantasy Show with our boy Dim Boys, also known as Adam J, aka. And then we have another announcement coming next week. We have a new guy coming to join the channel. So we'll get that announcement when he's able to join us here. But we do have someone joining the Get Right family that we've been waiting on for a while here. A very close friend of the show. We're very excited to have him. So yeah, so we're happy to get him in. We'll probably you'll probably see more of those changes coming next year and during the off season. For what he's going to bring, a lot of Dynasty content for us and stuff like that. But he'll definitely join us here on the future Friday night shows. Hopefully here for catch the majority of them to end out this season.
Yeah.
And then of course he'll sprinkle in with some of the stuff during the week. So
I love it.
we're excited to add him here to the channel. And we'll get that announcement when we give out our 1K subscriber ring. So
okay,
make sure you guys, so we'll announce it soon. We're still working out all the details. So yeah. So yeah, absolutely. We're all excited, man. So yeah, unless there's anything else, man, let's get out of here. I need a glass of water. I don't know if I can talk that much more. Had to hit that cough button so many times. I'm sure if you guys were watching, you saw me, but I was pretty quick on that mute button. But again, we appreciate you.
Make sure when you guys check back, because I know this is a long show, look at the chapters that are going to be put in. We'll be able to, you'll be able to look at each, contest that we were talking about and be able to get those. We did a ton of live chat in the beginning, so that's going to be one big long one. Definitely check it out. Worth watching. But make sure you guys, if you got this far, definitely make sure we appreciate all those that have been involved throughout. So thank you so much for all you guys have done, helped us in the chat. We will see you guys all on Sunday. I will be here Sunday morning at 11 o'clock Eastern time to help you guys with your lineups and getting it ready for Sunday morning. So check us out.
Yeah. So let's do it, man. So for Frank, who will be back here with me on Monday for Overreaction and our Waiver Wire show, for Dustin, who will hopefully join us here soon eventually, but got some other stuff going on. For our soon-to-be future analyst, we're all saying thanks. For my boy here, Classic Mike, hanging out with me. For myself here, I'm Rasta. This is Get Right Fantasy Network. We'll see you guys soon. See you Sunday. Good luck unless you're playing me. Otherwise, peace out.
Later.
Take us.
Fantasy is the play. Marking nothing, but I tune in every Friday. Strategies provide.